Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? What's going on? Happy, what is it? Wednesday night. A little early in the week for me. I've been kind of aiming for Fridays, but not sure if I'm gonna be able to do this Friday. So I'm trying to sneak one in earlier in the week. And I know I'm a day late to the Christian Wood situation here, but had some family obligations, so I wasn't able to go live when it actually happened. So, we'll see what pops off tonight. I know people aren't used to me on Wednesday nights, so we'll see if, who shows up, who doesn't. But in the meantime, thank you for those who pulled up so far. Shout out to my guy, Joe, over at Lakers Fast Break. Make sure to check them out. They got a phenomenal show over there, phenomenal group of guys. And, your boy Jeff is blessed to, fortunate enough to be on that show every once in a while as well. So make sure to check out Lakers Fast Break. They got a good show going on over there. In the meantime, let's go ahead and let's talk about the Christian Wood situation and him signing with the Lakers. We pretty much knew that there was a strong chance that this would happen, especially the longer it went. He seemed to just be waiting out the situation between Portland and Miami, potentially Philly and the Clippers, and hoping that a 3 or 4 team trade may kind of shake some roster spots loose there, get some of these other teams to spend some of their exemption money. And, trying to just hope that he can get more than the minimum deal. I think in his heart of hearts, he always wanted to be a Laker, but he just didn't like the money situation, and he didn't like the guarantee of non-guarantee of a starting spot. So I think those are the two things that he was really hoping for that he didn't get. So, he got the minimum. He didn't get a starting spot. So he kind of just came around to it and was like, all right, I'll be a Laker. So, Miami never really was in the game because they really could not offer that, even a minimum without going into the second apron. And I don't know any team in their right mind is going to take themselves to the hell that is the second apron for Christian Wood. I mean, Christian Wood is a good ball player, but he's not a dude that you punish your team and take away all those, capabilities to trade and get people in the buyouts and stuff like that. So that for sure, I did not see happening. He was waiting it out to see if Miami was going to, maybe free up a little bit more money to where if they did give him the minimum, it wouldn't take them to the second apron and, no state income tax there. Or he was waiting to see if, teams that weren't involved in 3 or 4 team trades were willing to use some of their exemption money now and put themselves into a hard cap because they weren't going to be part of a bigger deal. So that's where they were. And at the end of the day, as the clock continued to tick and as the days went on, as the summer went on, it became more increasingly likely that that Christian Wood was going to be a Laker, especially when the Lakers pretty much showed absolutely zero interest in any other center out there. They were just sitting back waiting for him, to make his decision. I think they felt that it was going to come down to that. And the thing that really interests me here, which was really crazy here, was go James. Shout out to you, bro. Thanks for pulling up. Appreciate you. Hey, Angie the capologist. Always great to have you here. Empire Jeff TV's own Angie B. Shout out to you, Angie. But one thing I want to say here, what I thought was interesting is that it wasn't LeBron James that recruited Christian Wood and technically really got him here. It wasn't Anthony Davis that recruited and got him here. Shit, it may not even be Rob Pelinka that really got this done. Darvin Ham got it done. Darvin Ham got Christian Wood. He was talking to him just about every day, talking about what his role would be, talking to him what it would look like to have him on this team playing next to AD. A stretch 5 on this team is desperately needed. So it was Darvin Ham, man. And on the back of, Giannis talking about how much he kind of missed Darvin and Bobby Portis speaking into existence about maybe reuniting with Darvin and playing for him again. Players around the league want to be coached by Darvin Ham. And that's just the fact. So this is going to continue on. I think Darvin will continue to be a strong recruiter for the Lakers as we get into the trade deadline and next summer. So all those people that, that kind of been giving Darvin a tough time, think about this aspect of it. He's still learning as a head basketball coach, but as a recruiter and as a leader of men and as a motivator, he seems to have gotten that down. So exactly, Angie. Let's go, Coach Ham. Eric Kwan, what's up, my guy? What's up? So I've been one that said I didn't really want to give a lot of attention to this Christian Wood situation leading up to it because it's cool if we got him. If we didn't, I wasn't going to shed a tear about that. I'm happy that we did get him. Don't get me wrong, especially at the minimum. If you get I don't think he will start. I just want to throw it out there. I don't think he will start. And I love the idea of him coming off the bench to back up Braun or AD. But I feel that Braun should not be out there chasing wings. And if he does, it's for minimum possessions at most. So I would rather see Vando or Rui out there on the front line with Braun and AD. and have Christian Wood come off the bench for either Braun or AD, whoever goes out first. And then his ability to stretch the floor with his shot, and he can block shots. He doesn't move his feet well as far as his defense goes, but he can block shots, and he can hit that three. And he's a big that will give AD space on offense. So if they're in the game together, that they wouldn't be two guys hogging the middle there when you already got Braun that can take up space, and AD. Christian Wood can sit out there and hit that three. So that I do like that aspect of it, but I really like him off the bench. If he does become a starter at some point, I think he should earn it. And but I like Vando or Rui starting in that starting lineup, and Woods coming off the bench. So what do y'all think about that? I've seen a lot of rotations and starting lineup back and forth, today, and see a lot of people. It's kind of a mixed bag. So I'm curious to see what people think. But I think that Wood should come off the bench, in my opinion. There you go. True, Eric. I believe he has to earn his minutes. He has to earn the trust of the team, and he's going to have to earn his, we can build this chemistry with this team. But I do think, there's a chance he could start. Don't get me wrong. I can't predict the future. For me, I prefer him coming off the bench because I think the Lakers would be better with him coming off the bench. And at the end of the day, it's not always who starts, it's who finishes. And if he finds that he fits with Bron and AD on the floor, he could find himself finishing out some games, especially against certain matchups. But that Laker front line is going to be a problem for teams when you've got, you've got the Ruiz, you've got Braun, you've got AD, you've got Christian Wood, you've got Jackson Hayes. The versatility that this team can throw at teams is great. And I really expect this team to be, even with Christian Wood, who's not known as a defender, I really think this team is going to be better defensively this year. I think they finished 11th to close out last season. I've got them definitely finishing between 5th and 7th as like a minimum for me next year on defense. I really believe that to be true. Search and Destroy, what's up with you? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your continued support as always. Lead moderator on Lakers Fast Break. As I mentioned, make sure to check out those guys. Great show. And we got Beezy, 808. Appreciate you tuning in. I think he starts. That's why he signed. See, I disagree with that. I think that's why it took him so long to sign, is because the Lakers never offered the starting spot. Had the Lakers offered the starting spot, he would have signed a long time ago. What I heard and what was kind of mentioned, the Athletic mentioned that today too, and it's kind of the same things I heard, that is he was basically told that he was going to have a chance to play a pretty decent role, and he was going to get 15 to 20 minutes a game. So I don't think he starts. I think that it was waited out. I think Darvin sold him on playing a role in that 15 to 20 minutes, showing he could contribute to a winning team, and then re-enhancing his market next summer. But I definitely do not believe that he was promised a starting spot. I think that would have been a little bit dangerous to do that, but I don't think he was promised it. Yeah, we definitely got some wingspan now. We got some length. We got a wingspan. Like I said, we got the stretch 5. I'm excited to see that. Hopefully he can hit that shot here. You know how it goes when shooters get to LA, they can't shoot all of a sudden. So what do you do with the 15th spot? Well, you know what I'm hoping for, Angie? You know what I'm hoping for, and that is Mr. Isaiah Joe. I'm hoping he gets released by OKC. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I think there's a chance it happens, but because they've kind of put themselves in a bind. All those picks sometimes lead to tough decisions. It's a good problem to have all those picks, but sometimes you got a lot of guys you like, and you got to make some tough decisions. So I would love for them to go ahead and be able to get if Isaiah Joe is an OKC casualty cap-wise, I would love that. Young Africa, what's up, my guy? Good to see you in here, man. I always appreciate you. I'm going to drop the link soon. Hope you can pull up, stick around. I definitely want your thoughts and want to talk to you about this. Let's see here. Yeah, Young Africa is the young OG, man. That's Young Pac right there. He'd be hitting people up on these streams, hitting them up in the panels. That's Young Pac right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's see. Our problem is now how does the minutes get distributed? Well, it's a good problem to have, right? Depth is tough to manage. But with Bron and AD, maybe they play less minutes. If the Lakers start blowing people out, which they're capable of now, then that's when things change. Guys can take some games off back to back. So Darvin Ham definitely has to get creative here, and he definitely has some ththings to sort out. But it's a good problem to have, and I'd rather have more talent than less talent, and we'll have to figure it out. But at the end of the day, we got a legitimate second big now that can stretch the floor, and I'm psyched about that. Seawood, good pickup, especially if AD goes down. Exactly. Now we've got multiple insurances if AD needs some time off. Obviously, it's not ideal, and we do not want that to happen, but it's ideal if he does go down. Let's see here. It's a Young Africa fan show. Trust me, this guy's fantastic for those who haven't heard him. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I got right now. And like I said, I really think that the Philadelphia Sixers and Harden and the Portland Trail Blazers and And Dame Dollar really kind of had Christian Wood hoping that something would open up and he'd be able to get some more money in a starting slot. Never materialized. And from that on, pretty much the only market out there for him was the Lakers. Because like I said, Miami could not even offer that minimum salary unless they'd go into the second apron. Bron and AD are going to miss at least 40 games combined. Wood will get mins. Yeah, I think Bron and AD are going to miss games. I don't know exactly how many. I think that 65 game minimum is something they're going to want to do I think Bron wants to add to his legacy, get another all-NBA team. I think AD wants to be on all defensive teams and defensive player of the year votes. So I think they're going to see 65 minimum games. Sammy the Man, salute to you. Appreciate you as always. What's your thoughts on the job Rob is doing? I love what Rob is doing. I've been loving what Rob is doing. I was defending Rob when everyone was slandering him. Let Rob work has been my mantra. I like what everyone's doing. I like what Rob is doing. I like Darvin recruiting. I like Braun and Clutch getting the hell out of Rob's office this summer and letting that man work. I like all of it. Everything he's done has been great. So outside of that, like I said, if you look back to 2020, even when he built that team, even the 21 team was good. The problem was AD got hurt. His only blemish was the Russell Westbrook trade because he wanted to please his stars. And he rectified that. He got out of that deal. He got us to the Western Conference Finals, so he made up for that, in my opinion. So we will see, what his next move is. So let me see here. How do you see Wood's skill set blending with the team and AD? So his skill set on offense, I think, is perfect because he's a stretch big. Some of these other bigs, like the Bismack Biyombo or the JaVale McGee's and these guys, and they're going to be around the paint area, which clogs it up a little bit. I like that Christian Wood can stretch the floor, free up the paint for AD and Braun, and he can stand out there and catch and shoot. When those guys are out, then he can kind of go down there a little bit himself and put in some work. But I love the fit from that standpoint. He's probably the best fitting big next to AD offensively. Defensively, AD's still gonna have to guard some of the bigger guys now because Jackson Hayes is not very strong right now, and like I said, Christian Wood is not known for his post defense. He can block at the rim, but they're gonna have to maybe figure something out with that. But outside of that, I think, like I said, I like their chances. Was surprised by Wood's sign. He might be looking at other teams, but he said Lakers was his option. He wanted to be a Laker, I believe that, but I think he wanted more money. And at the end of the day, the money wasn't there. So, his dream came true, but at a cheaper price than he probably had hoped for. But he's going to make money off the court as a Laker, and if he plays well, he'll get more money next summer. So he's kind of going the Dennis Schroeder route, and I think he'll be able to benefit as long as he keeps his act together and doesn't act a fool. I think he'll be all right. My question on defense: Wood and AD switch at the 5. I still have AD playing the 5 because I have Wood coming off the bench. And then as far as on defense, them switching, they could switch situationally, but I definitely think the AD stays at the 5. Like I said, I think Braun's going to be the 4, and I think Rui or Vandal will be the 3 because Braun cannot be out there chasing. He just cannot be out there chasing wings at this point. I'm going to drop the link right here if you guys want to pull up. Young Africa, hope you're still in the building. We'll definitely want to talk to you about this. But outside of that, the fit offensively is really, really good. I'm not going to go as far as what your boy Richard Sherman said today, saying it's like getting Pau Gasol again. Whoa, slow up on that. Dude is tripping. That's craziness. It is not like getting Pau again. This guy's a minimum contract. He's coming off the bench more than likely. But he did average, about 16.5 with Dallas last year off the bench. So he's capable of putting up numbers off the bench. And I think he could have games where he lights it up. And the games where, if AD's had one of those slouching games where he's really not performing to his ability and he just is kind of taking the game off offensively, then someone like Christian Wood could help fill that void. Rui will probably start. Good point. Yeah, I mean, I think if you notice and you look, Rui is slimmed down. So I think Rui is slimming down to guard the wings is what I'm thinking. So I think he's slimming down to guard the wings, and I really think that that was kind of his objective, to get in there, get a little trimmer, be able to guard these wings. So Braun isn't. No one wants to see Braun out there chasing wings up and down the floor. That's not what we want to see anymore. In a possession at the end of game, if he has to, I get it in spots, but at 39 years of age, that is something that we do not want Braun to do. Having him at the 5 is an option they can utilize. They can have him at the 5, but I don't think he starts at the 5. And I'm not saying AD is never going to play the 4. I think there's a chance he plays the 4 at times, but he's going to play probably at least 75% of his season at the 5, I believe, which has been kind of, what they've been saying as well. Rui, Bloodhound, appreciate you. Appreciate you for showing up here. Rui will probably start at 3 because LeBron is playing the 4. Yeah, that's what I think. I think Braun is the 4. I think AD is the 5. And I think it comes down to Vando and Rui. And another, Vando becomes extension eligible tomorrow. So we'll see if that's something that's being worked out. That's something that's been going on behind the scenes. Not saying it's going to happen tomorrow, but he has from tomorrow to the day before the start of the season to do his extension. I would love for them to get him signed or something between 13 and 15 mil and get another contract in that range. That would be great. We could still sign another big, although I want Isaiah Joe as well. Sac has like 5 centers, and if I'm not mistaken, 16 or 17 players on the roster. Yeah, Sacramento's going to probably have to cut either JaVale or Nerlens Noel. Noel probably doesn't become a Laker because of his issue with clutch. But JaVale may still be an option down the road. But JaVale is your 15 player, like I said, I would not be tripping on. And at the end of the day, I'm happy with the guy we got. This is the guy we were waiting on, and that's what happened. And I know we had a couple people backstage. I'm sorry about that. I'm gonna get you guys into a second. Sorry about that. Bloodhound Wood will probably play with AD to mask his defense deficiencies. He's definitely going to play with AD, but I think he's also going to get a bulk of minutes without AD. If you think about last year, how they did with Thomas Bryant and AD only played a combined 250 minutes together last season. And I know that Thomas Bryant got traded at the trade deadline and AD was hurt, but still, that's a low amount of minutes for two guys to play together when they were expected both to get pretty good minutes. So that will be very interesting to see how this plays out. So I'm very interested to see how that all plays out there. So Young Africa, what's good, my guy? Good to have you back in the building.
Salute Empire. What's up, my guy? What's up?
You know, man, just sitting here. We got a July 1st news on September 5th. So you know, you can never go wrong with that. When you got guys, guy waited it out all the way till September to make his decision because there just wasn't any money out there, man. What you think about it?
Yeah, it's very interesting, man. Well, from that perspective of the money, it's very interesting. A guy that's like what 26, 27, right in the middle of his prime, averaged about 16 points, 7 rebounds last season in about 25 minutes per game, which is highly productive per 36, very highly productive in the NBA. Stretch big that can space the floor, rebound at a high level, hit the 3 ball at an above league average rate, 37%, 38% ability to be given the minimum in the middle of his prime, Jesse. So there are questions off the court. There are questions about attitude with Christian Wood. There are questions about his impact on winning. And I would say this, for all those questions, I'm not behind the scenes, but for all those questions that have been evident is the reason why a guy in the middle of his prime who's able to give you 20 and 10 essentially is lowballed is because of the off the court issues. And so why is he going to do well on the Lakers? Why do I expect Christian Wood to do well? Because life humbles you, Jeff. And when life humbles you and throws you the league minimum in the middle of your prime, knowing that you're worth a lot more in an era where stretch bigs are very valuable, one that can rebound is 6'10 and that can block shots at the rim, very valuable, way more valuable than league minimum. That humbles you. You're also playing on a team coming to the Lakers where you understand you can change the narrative of your career and win with the Lakers and get a championship, and that might get you the bag. It's really your last opportunity to get the bag that you feel you are worth. And so playing next to AD, playing next to LeBron James, I expect Christian Wood to be very productive for the Lakers and potentially closing a lot of games for us because one of the major things, and I'll keep it short and let you keep it moving, is the versatility now that the Lakers have. See, what I saw in the Denver Nuggets, and one of the reasons why we lost was that we weren't so versatile. It was plan A, and plan A don't work. Plan B ain't even really an option because of the limitations of our rotation and the skill set of our players. Now we have added versatility with a Gabe Vincent, with the Christian Wood, with the Taurean Prince, with the Cam Reddish if he actually steps up and plays, with the Austin Reeves developing as well. We got versatility in our lineups with the Rui. And so with that, I think our team becomes better. And now the pressure becomes Darvin Ham's pressure Empire, Jeff. And we're going to see that.
Yep, absolutely. No doubt. So I'm sitting up here like, and all great points, by the way, as usual. When Young Africa's in the building, you get nothing but pretty much great points in this. So but the thing is, what it is you make an excellent point where last year was, I feel like this year we have the next man up mentality. Last year was like next guard up mentality, right? So I think we were sitting here, we got so much versatility. We can go big, we can go small, we can go wing heavy. We could there's so many different things. And now we got a big that can shoot, right? And so not only do we get a shooter, but we got a stretch 5. And that is absolutely important. And I think Darvin Ham coming into this season, I think he will be better. I think he has more pieces to use in rotation, especially with bigs. And I think he was trying to overcompensate his lack of bigs and depth of guards and just trying to kind of force that a little too much last year. And plus, he was extremely close with Dennis. He had tremendous trust with him. That is gone now. So he's going to be forced to develop that trust with other players. And that might be a good thing. So I'm really excited to see his growth as a coach. I'm really excited to see kind of AD's leadership take a little bit more this year. I'm really excited to see LeBron with another deep roster and seeing what comes here. I love having Gabe Vincent, a guy who's played in the finals. I love all the pressure they're applying to D'Lo with signing Gabe Vincent, floating Trae Young, BS trade rumors out there to apply pressure to him to come on, get your stuff together. We want you. The Lakers want D'Lo to play well, and they want to keep him. They want him to be a guy they keep, but he's got to do his part. He's got to start being so nonchalant about it and really care about these losses. Let me check these real quick. Let's see here. Chris, good to see you in the building, man. Appreciate you, brother. See here. Let me just get through some of these because I went behind on these for a minute here. Appreciate you, Bloodhound, as always. Was hoping you were going to go live last night. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, I've had some family situations this week, and I just schedule wouldn't permit. And where I was at, I was sitting with like a 2 megabyte Wi-Fi situation. Wasn't happening. So, I was supporting the other brothers, other channels, and the Lakers and Fives and the Dan the Laker fans and everyone else that was out there doing their shows. I was supporting them and figured I'd get in where I fit in tonight. So it worked out. And look, I got Africa to pull up. If I went live last night, he was probably busy in other streams. So I lucked out. So let's see. Woods motor is also questionable when he journeyed from team to team. Yeah. And that's Africa. Let's touch on this because you spoke on that earlier about Christian Wood has never played in a playoff game in his career. If I'm not mistaken. Right. So not only is he probably more than likely going to play in his first playoff game, he's probably going to go deep into the playoffs, and he's in a situation where the pressure is the highest on the brightest lights. So we're looking at a situation where a man who's never played amongst that, coming to a city where people who shoot cannot shoot once they arrive. And and then, like you said, have to humble himself and accept a minimum deal. The pressure is on this man to make it work in LA and to kind of stand out. What do you think?
Most definitely. That is a very surprising stat. But when you look at the teams that Christian Wood been on, what teams has he been on? Because a lot of questions about his impact on winning. He's been on teams like the Detroit Pistons, the Houston Rockets in his career, the New Orleans Pelicans, where he didn't play a lot of games and was traded within that season from Milwaukee to New Orleans.
Yep.
He played on the Hornets, and he played on the pre-processed Philadelphia 76ers. So
yeah.
He played on bad teams, Jeff. And so this idea that, has he ever been in a situation where he could impact winning, where there was a potential to win? No, he has not. And so on those teams, he felt like he was the best player. I don't mind the perception of an individual player feeling like he's got it like that. But I think realistically, playing next to guys like LeBron James, Anthony Davis, who are champions in the NBA, will put in context his role on the team on top of the contract situation that he has. And so when you talk about and you ask the question of the ability of Christian Wood to impact winning and play in the bigger moments, that's yet to be seen. But what I have seen is that in limited minutes, in a minimized role in the Dallas Mavericks, he put up 16 and 7. Now, 16 and 7, a lot of starting bigs in the NBA don't even get 16 and 7.
Yep.
So if you're able to get that production, instant offense off the bench, something that we needed in the playoffs, something that we needed, a guy that's a big, that's able to create his own shot, get the 3 ball and work out of the mid-range. He's able to do that for us. That would be highly valuable. The versatility of that now allows Rui Hachimura to have more space in the paint, allows Austin Reeves to attack, allows D'Lo to attack as well if Darvin Ham shuffles the lineup. And so I'm high on Christian Wood. I'm very excited for the Lakers season. And as a Laker fan, I think we have had the best offseason in the NBA, Jeff. Straight up.
This is facts. Now, again, excellent points. I do want to speak on one thing because you did mention he was on bad teams. And even though the Dallas Mavericks were on the cusp of the playoffs, they did not make the playoffs and they were in the lottery. So I want to touch on that because I think it's important because I'm a believer of being careful and being aware of good players on bad teams, right? So now I'm not saying Christian Wood is that. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that's why I'm excited of seeing what he does when the lights are bright. I want to see what Christian Wood is made of. And when you think about it, like I said, the guy that can stretch the floor, he can block shots at the rim, and he can rebound. We just got, and he's not the same player, but he's also not going to play the same minutes. But we kind of got like the poor man's Miles Turner, right? When you think about it. So the guy who can stretch the floor for his size and block shots at the rim, not the same type of player, but in a limited role and give you spurts of that, he can give you something like that. So I do kind of, I'm going to catch heat for that. I know it, but when you really put it in context of the stretch five who can block shots at the rim, that's what I'm talking about. So you didn't have to give up really anything to get him, and you got him. So as long as he's just not that good player on a bad team, and I believe I saw enough of him in Dallas last year. And even against us, I remember one game he hurt his ankle and he was toughing it out. And he was trying to finish that game up, and they ended up winning that game.
He cooked us.
He cooked us. And Sammy, I got you. I'm gonna get you in a second. I appreciate you being patient here. Let me get to some of these real quick. Wood can resurrect his career with us. This is great considering we didn't have to spend any money really. Exactly. This is high risk, low reward. Low risk, high reward. The definition of that. So that's exactly what we want to do. What up, Lakers in 5? Appreciate you, DJ. For those of you who don't know, and you guys all do, I'm sure, make sure to check out Lakers at 5. He's got a great show. DJ is one of these guys who put me on early in these YouTube streets. So he's like a big brother to me on YouTube. So that's my guy right there. Make sure to support his channel. And DJ, if you want to pull up, I'll drop the link again for sure, because you're always welcome here. Let's see here. Let me get through these. Let me catch up with some of these real quick. Let me see. Okay. He's not flat-footed like Bryant, which is a bonus if they get him to play defense. Yeah, that's facts. And like I said, that's why AD and Bryant only played 250 minutes total together last season. Remember we were going to trade Russ and a pick for Woods and Wall. Yo, that's crazy. So let me go ahead and Sammy, you've been patiently waiting. I highly appreciate that. So I want to get you. What do you think about the Lakers getting Christian Wood?
Yo, salute, Jeff, salute, Africa, everybody. Go ahead, support the stream, like and subscribe. Yeah, I love it, man. I love the whole deal. I'm gonna keep it 100. Me being from out here in LA, me and you, Jeff, I didn't know what his really game plan was. We just heard so much. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, he signed, cool. You know what I'm saying? I love it though. I love the fit. I love what's going on. And I think he just finally got an opportunity. I don't think he had an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't really have an opportunity, like, to really, like, you could say Houston, Detroit, he had, the star, but now you in gold and purple lights. They hit different from any other.
True.
Facts. So now he gets to show I am not that defensive liability. I average about a game for sure. You know what I'm saying? He can show what everybody been saying. And what I like, he feisty. See what he said at the end? But with that little paragraph he put on a tweet, I think it was a Mark Spears. The last part was my favorite part. He said, I'm for sure. What do you say? Yeah, I'm for sure that I didn't like what Dallas did, basically.
Yeah, he threw that in there he tapped them there, and the Lakers kind of tapped Dallas too. I don't know if y'all caught this. I tweeted this earlier. I thought it was kind of cool what the Lakers did is that they went ahead and posted their post of Christian Wood in a Dallas Mavericks jersey with his quote saying it's always been his dream to be a Laker. So they had a little fun of poking Mark Cuban there. A little trolling right there because Mark Cuban wanted to put his hands in Laker business too much. So that was not on accident. But Young Africa and Sammy, that was a great take. I appreciate you. Young Africa, what's your stance on if he should start or come off the bench?
I like Darvin Ham came in as a coach, right? That was a disciplinarian, right? He came in with a strong mindset, and I like him coming off the bench initially to just humble him and also to understand that his role on this team is a specific role. And so, to hold him accountable on defense, that's one of his weaknesses is perimeter defense. And so, and strength as well in the post, bigger centers and power forwards can bully him around the post. He's a solid help defender, but when it comes to coming off the bench, I don't mind that. I think it can still be highly productive off the bench. If he's playing 25 minutes, he could still give you that 16-9 or 16-8 like he was doing last season. And so let me say this about Christian Wood as well. In his career, Jeff, he's averaged 24 minutes a game.
Yep.
His career averages are 15 points and 7 rebounds. That's quite amazing production. And look at the splits, because coming off the bench means that you're having inconsistent minutes and your role is changing from game to game. And he's still averaging 52% from the field, 38% from 3. That's amazing. And what do I expect when you asked the question before that I didn't really state is that when you're playing with a LeBron James, with a high level playmaker, also an Austin Reeves, a D-Lo that can handle the ball and work that pick and roll, and you're playing with other star players, your percentages should go up. And so he could have amazing efficiency this season, which is what I should expect. And now the defensive mind state is what I hope him coming off the bench, holding him accountable to that, being a great shot blocker and having the best defensive season of his career will assist our team because our identity is defense. And so I hope LeBron James works that pick and roll, and we run more high pick and roll this season as opposed to what we did last season. I hope that we have more motion offense when it comes to AD as well, and Christian Wood spacing the floor can do that as well. But being a scorer in the second unit and being that number one guy on the second unit would fit Christian Wood's style of play very well, because if he's in the starting lineup, it comes to the question of what's the volume going to be, what's the amount of shots he's going to take, and how effective will it be with the starting unit when we got an Austin Reeves, we got a LeBron, we got an AD, we got a potentially a Rui as well in the starting lineup if that's going to be the case. And so I think, and D-Lo as well. And so I'm wondering if it's the best, and if he outplays guys in the starting lineup, if he looks amazing playing with the starting unit, well, we can always close games because it ain't about who starts, it's about who finishes.
Thank you.
Night to night, Jeff.
No, that's exact. That's what I've always said. Like to me, when I play ball, like if you just start me, cool, but I'm gonna bust my ass out there. And if I get to finish the game, I'll take that 10/10 and starting the game and then sitting in the bench at the end of the game when it matters. I'll take that 10 times out of 10. But you bring up good points.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, real quick, because I want to touch on yours right here. His per 36 and his per 100 possessions are great. You know what I mean? So his points at 100 possessions are 31.9, which is crazy. And his per 36 is 23.1 points per game. So it's like, you're right. He's out there in limited minutes. And I think it's because teams are afraid of at times of his defense, right? So, but he's never played with a big like AD. So I think that's gonna cover up some of his things there. And the Lakers team defense overall is much better. So that's gonna make him a better, if he can at least be a good team defender, not necessarily fooling the individual, protect the rim, be a good team defender. He'll probably earn more minutes. And then, like I said, his pers are strong. So go ahead.
Rebounding is something that can help AD with. He was really our sole rebounder outside of LeBron last season. He had to rebound, block shots, protect the paint, switch out on guards. So rebounding is the biggest thing I think on defense that he'll help with AD. But let me ask you, let's draw some parallels to last season, right? And talk about Darvin Ham. We saw a guy with a similar skill set, although not at the same level and same production of a Christian Wood in Thomas Bryant last season, right? And he was cooking when AD was out last season, and he was dropping 30 balls occasionally as well when he got the volume. And so what leads you to believe, if you do believe, that Darvin Ham will trust a guy like a Christian Wood and allow and play too big, something that he felt was allergic to last season, Jeff?
Yeah, so that's an excellent point. I think it's a little different. I think Christian Wood is obviously more mobile. He can get up and down the floor easier. Bryant just really couldn't. He can give you buckets, but he wasn't a great rebounder, and he played zero defense. And he wasn't great in screen and roll action. And obviously, he could shoot the three. His release was a little bit slower. Bryant, like I said, I feel some of that was on Darvin, but I also feel that Thomas Bryant was kind of one-dimensional. And even I feel like Denver felt that way too, because when he got there, he just didn't play. You know what I mean? And there's a guy who can give you 20 points, right? And they still didn't play him. So at the end of the day, the defensive side of the court matters, especially when you're pretty much ass in transition defense and second chance points. So, and Bryant doesn't help you with either one of those. Christian Wood, I believe, does. So I think those things what are deficiencies for the Lakers, I think along with his offense, coming with that also helps as well. Let me get to some of these real quick. Kurt, appreciate you tuning in as always. Thanks for the support. Let me see here. Big Art. Shout out, man. My guy, Big Art Sports. Great content over there. For those who, again, if you're on my channel, I know you probably already know and see these guys, but they always show mad love to me. So I definitely got to reciprocate that. So make sure you check out Big Art Sports. Great show over there. It's got a lot of great content. Very knowledgeable man right there. Shout out to you, Big Art. And let me see here. Kurt, I like that Darvin already has some familiarity with Wood in Milwaukee. That's a fact. That is true. See. Hometown guys don't want to embarrass themselves in front of their family. Yeah, that's true. A lot of people forget that Christian Wood is from Long Beach. He's not really claimed as being one of ours. No one's ever really like repped Christian Wood. You know, that
30 minutes away.
Yeah. So, but no one's been like being like, oh, Christian Wood, a hometown boy. But I'll tell you what, he has a chance to make that name for himself. If he plays well, they're going to claim him. That's a fact. Cuban is wild. You never know what was going on over there. Hell, Cuban said he traded a player because he smoked too much. That's funny because Cuban smokes too much. But let me see here. Cuban would probably trade a guy for not watching Shark Tank. That is true. T Sweezy, what's up, my guy? What's up? Let me just catch up on these real quick. That the chat is heavily involved. I want to keep them part of the show here. Y'all hit that like button for your boy. Thank you, Angie. Please hit that like button. Your boy's trying to grow on these YouTube streets. I need them likes up. I need them subs up and those watch hours up. So if you like what I bring to the table, if you like the content, if you like the guests I got on the show, if you like the people that pull up, you like everything about this channel, shoot your boy a like, man, and a sub, please. Appreciate that. Reg Dog TV, what's up, my guy? Another loyal dude, a long-time supporter from the get-go. My guy Reg right there. Salute to you, my bro. Let me see, almost done. I'm caught up here. Exactly. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Serge. Ham has that familiarity with Wood, so we trust him. Yeah, so that's the thing. We all see what happens when Darvin Ham got that trust and familiarity with a player, right? A la Dennis Schroeder. So we may get a little bit too. I got to be careful because that word is a trap. We may get a little bit too much Christian Wood at times because I think he may get more minutes than he was actually promised because he does fall in love with his former players there. That's world champion Thomas Bryant. You're right about that. And I like Thomas Bryant. I really do. I was excited when we got him back. You know what I mean? He bought a house here not too far from where I live, actually, when he re-signed with the Lakers. So not only, my room for him, but he's, almost a neighbor. So shout out to Thomas Bryant and his family. And I wish him well. I believe he's in, is he in Miami now? He's in Miami now, right? Yeah, so shout out to them trying to get in condition under Pat Riley, though. Have fun with that. Long Beach, LBC. Let's go. They'll be playing a bunch of Snoop Dogg and LB Dove Shack in the arena this season. Let's see. All right, cool. So someone, I'm gonna get to your point in a minute. We're gonna get on some Harden stuff, but back to the Christian Wood situation. Sorry about that, guys. I'm just trying to keep the catch up on the chat here and make sure everyone. Chris, what's up, my guy? Someone should have told Westbrook to not embarrass himself. Yeah, that's true, but can't no one tell Westbrook anything. He tells himself things, and that's it. So let me ask you something. Let's assume Christian Wood comes off the bench because I think he's going to at least to start the season. Do you guys agree with that, or for the most part to start the season? Okay,
I do agree him off the bench. I do because it's going to preserve LeBron to me. I agree with you earlier. I don't want LeBron on the wings guarding him either. I want him preserved. You know what I'm saying? And I like him to close with LeBron. And then LeBron has another wing out there. Like a Vanderbilt, if they go Wood at the 5 and AD's resting or something. You know what I'm saying? But man, I think Ham might have to do some AD LeBron. And that's coming from the upper office. Pelinka and them was like, we want to go back to 2020. So he might force his hand where, hey, you're going to have to do AD Wood some game just to see it. Because, he didn't do it at all last year. So that's why I want to see more. If we could get a lineup where we could have LeBron protected, where he don't have to chase, like you said, 3-4 years old, chasing everybody, chasing them wings. Nah. If we can have because that could be a potential big three. Woods, LeBron, and AD, or the other big three. You could say Reeves, LeBron, AD. You know what I'm saying? You could flip that and put that in there and kind of get that little chemistry going. And it's a problem, but I do think he should come off the bench. Let's look at this bench. Gabe Vincent, Cam Reddish, Prince, Rui, and Woods. Everybody can shoot.
That's 10 deep right there. And let me say this about the bench. The bench is not what it used to be in the NBA where you had a minimal role. We just saw the Denver Nuggets with Bruce Brown having a huge impact off the bench. I think depth now is a major part of the NBA. And so to be an instant offense off the bench and as we said before, close games potentially as well. I think the bench, having a strong bench and having a deep bench of skilled players. Golden State Warriors showed that with Iguodala once upon a time. Great teams always have a solid bench, and they have players that potentially could start on a lot of teams, but are coming off the bench. Shout out to Bruce Brown, who just got the bag, Jeff.
Yeah, and that's what it is. So when you win a championship and you're a free agent and you're a major contributing part to that championship, you're going to get paid by the team that signs you, that you were played for, or if they're capped with what they can give you, like Denver was, you're going to get the bag. Like no one thought that he was going to get what he got, like 22 million, something like that, right? No one thought he was going to get that bag. And I'm telling you this, I'm not on you. I don't do this to just be saying stuff. Like I'm telling you, with any shadow of a doubt, there was a point where it was pretty much a done deal that he was going to be the Laker, to the point where the Clippers 100% believed that the Lakers got him and were trying to counter it. So it was like what happened is when Indiana made that move to clear money, they freed up money. It was just a deal that Bruce Brown just couldn't pass up. But at the end of the day, like they almost had him. Like
that's crazy.
They almost had him, and to the point where all parties thought it was done. However, and again, this is I'm not the one that I'm getting this information. This one's told to me by the people involved. I'm getting it from someone, so I want to be clear about that. What was told to me was, and shout out to them for doing this the right way. They told him, unless circumstances change, we're comfortable with it. But if someone comes in late with bigger money, obviously we have to consider that. So they were straight up with the Lakers about everything as far as I could. So to the point where the Clippers were even trying to entertain moves with other teams to help teams free up money to get Bruce Brown to meddle with what the Lakers were doing. So at the end of the day, like the Clippers believed they had him. So that's how close it was. The teams around the league believed it. And Indiana had to go and make a move to free up big money, because if Indiana offered him 15 and the Lakers are sitting there about 13, he probably still would have took the Laker deal. So they had to blow the Laker deal out the water. You get what I mean? And they did that. So, but anyway, so without Bruce Brown and without these guys, and then those players make a huge role. But what I like about the Lakers is all their guys, like all interchangeable, and the best part about it, me being the cap nerd, and Angie can appreciate this too, is the trade flexibility we have. Everyone around the league forever praised the Clippers for having so many contracts between $12 and $18 million. Like that's how you build a team. You have two top guys contract wise, and you got a bunch of guys 12 through 18, and you got some mid-level guys, and you got some minimum guys. And that's what the Lakers have now. So when you want to put together a trade, and you guys are gonna get so tired of me talking about this, because I'm so impressed by it. I'm going to continue to talk about it. And that D'Lo contract, the way it was structured, was a pure masterclass by Pelinka, because the way he can move that deal up or down to save the Lakers money and get a player, to move up and get a high price player, or add people and aggregate to the deal and get a max level contract. Like there are so many things that can be done. And the way they structured that deal exactly, and they also structured it to where they signed another minimum player that it wouldn't take them into tax. So the Lakers have had this is the craziest part. Africa, listen to this shit. They had probably the best offseason in the league, and they are still out of the tax.
Still out of the tax.
So they not only did they please the fan base, but they pleased their owner. You feel me? So at the end of the day, like everyone's happy right now. Now they got to go on the floor and produce. So at the end of the day, like the way the math works, the mathematics is lined up straight. And they can move all kinds of people come December 15th. If they wanted to, if something happens, or if there's just a deal out there that's just too good to pass up, if something happens and someone's unhappy somewhere, the Lakers are prime and ready to make a move.
Hey, man, when Empire Jeff talks cap, it's all facts, no cap. Shout out to Empire.
Appreciate you, man. I get excited about the numbers, man. I'm a numbers guy. So it's
numbers.
Yeah, but because it matters.
Salute to you, Jeff. I got to slide real quick, man, but I'm gonna definitely hit you up, man, and we're gonna get to something behind the scenes. But salute to you, man. Hit the like button, man. I gotta slide and get to college, man. You know I got to do.
Yeah. I know your business, young Pac. Appreciate the pull up. I'll talk to you soon, all right, brother.
Most definitely, man. Peace out, man. Lakers are up, man. We up.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Young Africa, man. Always a blessing to have him in the building. He's been very generous with his time with me and supportive from the get-go. So he's got plenty of panels he can be on, but he always, goes out his way to make time to, to chill with your boys. So appreciate Young Africa. Then give me 1 second. Let me catch up on some of these. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Blue Magic in the building. Shout out to you. Thanks for pointing that out, Serge. I saw his post earlier. Appreciate you for showing up, Blue. Let's see. I don't want LeBron playing more than 30 minutes a game. They'll load manage for sure, Bloodhound. I agree with you. I don't want LeBron playing more than 30 if we can avoid it. And I really wouldn't want AD playing more than 35 if we can avoid it. Right. All these minutes that we can save, anything, saving AD and Braun's legs this season I'm a believer in also the mantra, the depth will set you free. And if the Lakers use their depth the way that they should, I really think it's going to improve their depth, their chemistry, and their wins. I got the Lakers at 55 wins this season, and I'm not backing down from that. If they stay healthy, and I know it's a little ambitious, I know it's a little bold.
I was saying 50, but okay.
No, I'm just saying because I just we don't know what these other teams are, but I think LeBron is gonna give this one really good go. I think he's gonna be all in. There's no drama surrounding him. I think AD, like I said, is motivated to get back to he wants to win a defensive player of the year. I think he wants to be an all defensive team, all NBA team MVP. I think AD's trying to come for every award there is this year. I really believe that. And if I'm talking crazy, I apologize. I'll be the first one to say I was wrong, but I like what I've seen and seeing how he looks and how he's been working out. You can see it. You can see it in the definition. He's putting in work. He took on the boxing. He's working on his agility. He's there's a lot of things that AD is doing behind the scenes that haven't leaked out, I've heard. And I think he's going to have them. I think it's going to be, remember when Braun was talking about the revenge season and all this? I think we're going to see I think we're going to see the AD revenge season for sure. Let me see here. How would you allocate the playing time? And shout out to you, Vincent, for pulling up. Appreciate the support. Well, the playing time is going to be tough. You've got to get a bunch of guys buying into a little bit of lesser role minute-wise, but impact-wise, and contributing to something bigger than themselves. If Braun and AD, I think it starts with them. If Braun and AD are healthy, but they're committing to 30 and 35 minutes each for them, I think the other guys will fall in line with their minutes. But also, it also will lead to more minutes for those other guys too. But if they have to take lesser minutes when they're seeing the two big dogs are doing the same, I think they'll fall in line. And I think all these guys got their eye on the bigger prize, including some of these guys who took less money, like Prince, obviously, like Christian Wood. Some of these guys, Cam Reddishes, Jackson Hayes. Yeah. These guys are on make good deals. So every minute that they're on the floor, it behooves them to give it their best and just be good soldiers in front of the camera, in the locker room. And so no word gets out on them of being a problem on the floor or off the floor. So the Lakers got a lot of players on make good contracts that have to do right publicly to get their next bag or to secure another, potentially long-term future with the Lakers. So hopefully these guys will be on their best behavior and be on their best performances when it comes to putting up numbers. Brown and Green for Denver. Yeah, those are big losses. They're going catching up here. Some of these a little behind. Sorry, guys. Honestly, Christie should play over Reddish. I agree with you that someone. I think he will. I think Cam is going to have to earn his spot on this team. I think he's going to have to earn his minutes, earn his time. He's washed out of too many teams. He's gonna have to prove himself. I think the Lakers gave him a chance because I think the Lakers are honestly trying to save his career. I really do. They've been linked to him for a while. He was the only really clutch move, right? So I think they are really trying to help him, and I think Cam has a place in this league, but he's just got to be better. So he's just got to be better, and that's it. Let me see here. Thank you all for subscribing from Lakers Fast Break. Yeah, that facts. All you guys that came over from Lakers Fast Break, appreciate you and thank you to them for always supporting and mentioning me even in their intro. So gotta always thank them for that. That's amazing. This is Reddish's last shot. Bloodhound, I think you're right. I think this could be a potential last shot for him. I think he's definitely got to get his act together. He's got to be more professional, and he's got to be able to make shots. They say it's a make or miss league, right? Got to be able to make those shots. You got to be ready when your name is called. And if you're on that bench, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So just stay ready. That's all it really is, man. So let's see
I'm thinking about the minutes with Jackson Hayes. Is he going to sacrifice? You know what I'm saying? Because, I named everybody but him. And, that's why I'm trying to see, when can they slide him in? You know what I'm saying? Are they going to go both, all three bigs or what? Because AD getting the most. I'm just trying to see where Jackson Hayes will slide in. Kind of I guess it'd be spot minutes with AD and Christian Wood. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, because I do want him to play too.
Well, I think he will. But again, if you notice how it kind of went, it was there was a point where you go weeks where even Lonnie Walker, even when Malik Monk was here, you see guys where they'll go a few weeks without playing, and all of a sudden it's their time on stage, right? And the next 2 months they're getting steady playing time. So I think you're going to see that. I think Darvin Ham, again, one thing about Darvin Ham is I believe he's great at communicating with his team, and I think he prepares them, and I think he said, hey, look, just wait for your time. And when it comes, you're going to get your chance. It's just this guy's chance right now. And be a good teammate, be supportive, and, in the event of an injury, stay ready because you still could play. And I think Darvin Ham is great in what he does that real quick. Christie has a good year. Excited for him. I think Christie has a chance to have a really good year. That's another guy I could see getting 15, 20 minutes a game. And that's one guy I think that Cam is going to struggle to take minutes from. You probably.
I think Christie going. Yeah, I think Christie bulking up too. He got stronger. You know what I'm saying? He catching bodies.
Yeah.
He looking. He
no
like,
doubt.
hey.
And Rejah, we're definitely not sleeping on Cam. I think Cam has just. The only thing I will say about Cam is I think the Lakers are trying to keep him in the league, but it may be a tough team. It was a tough team for him to get on to try to get minutes. So I think he's here to be on a roster. They'll say a bunch of good things about him if he behaves. And sometimes that gets you on a team. Sometimes a team, if you go to a situation, you're a good soldier, you play well in your time, you support your teammates. And a lot of times teams will add you to the team the following year because of that. So even if he doesn't play, the Lakers are doing him a solid there. Looking forward to people who will want to trade D'Lo and Wood for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. Yeah, that's going to be around all year, especially if D'Lo struggles. If D'Lo struggles, you're going to hear some of the craziest trade rumors out there. And again, because of his contract is so movable, and it's scary. He could literally almost any team could trade for D'Lo, and the Lakers can make something happen. If there's a player they want on any team, D'Lo and that team is going to want that contract. Like if they get him and they can, if a team can get him to opt into a second year in that deal, if he's having a bad year and think he's not going to get that 18 mil he's owed next year, a team would trade for him trying to get him to opt into that deal to keep that same versatility with his contract that the Lakers have. So again, you guys are going to hear me talk about this all year about how good that D'Lo contract is. And I'm sorry, I apologize in advance, but it was just a masterclass getting that contract.
It is. And especially if he plays good. In that first half of the season before the trade deadline comes, right, in February, and that comes, and now he looks good, because, man, if he looks good, even better, and then other teams is like, wait a minute, he's bouncing back. I wouldn't mind doing the trade now. I wouldn't mind doing whatever, that they with it, especially because, see, Trae Young came out last year and threatened the organization, hey, you fire Naaman Miller or trade me to the Lakers. That's why this is coming out about. Because he wanted to go last year.
That's true. Yeah. But I'm telling you right now, Trae Young is not coming to the Lakers. Trae Young is not coming to the
Lakers. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's not
I know
even
it's clutch sports, but I'd rather do another trade. I love Trae. I love the way he do ice things, but
the Lakers are preserving that 2026 cap space. They're not about to risk a chance on potentially getting Giannis for Trae Young. It's not happening. They're not going to risk a chance of
if anything, Giannis. Yes.
Yeah. There's a couple guys. I got a video coming to it. There's a couple guys, a few guys out there that the Laker fans will be extremely happy about it. And the funniest part about it is, and like I said, it's not LeBron, it's not AD. The two biggest Laker recruiters right now are Darvin Ham and Austin Reeves, and that's hilarious, but dope at the same time. I would start. Shout out to Devotion. Thank you for pulling up. I appreciate the support. I would start LBJ at point guard, Reeves at shooting guard, Rui at small forward, AD at the 4, Wood at the 5. I get why you say that because Braun primarily likes to have the ball in his hands anyways. I get that, but I would prefer to have D'Lo shooting out there. And again, this isn't a bad starting lineup. I just don't think it's our best lineup. If Braun is playing the 1, then he's going to have to guard 1s or 2s and 3s. Yeah, and I don't want Braun doing that. I prefer Braun at the 4. I really do, especially in his 39th year of age, not its playing year, year 21. So again, I want D'Lo, Reeves, either Rui or Vando, Braun and AD would be my starting lineup. But this isn't a bad one, and at some point we may see this. But I think we'll be at our best with having Braun at the 4 and AD at the 5. And then again, there will be times where AD plays the 4. But when AD finishes the game at the 5 and starts the game at the 5, I think we're better. But throughout the game, I get it if there's other parts that he plays.
Yeah, them lineups are all good. We all got versatility, but I think the lineup he might really want to go with, this is my guess on this, was last year, basically. D'Lo, Reeves, LeBron, and then Vando and AD. They all had chemistry. So they all played with each other last year, and they could roll that. Then you can have Vando chase the wings. You don't have to have LeBron out there do that. And then Rudy come in for LeBron. And then that's when the Woods come in. You know what I'm saying? Then you kind of stretch your bench out and get that chemistry on both sides. Then and in the game, like you said, you can flip how you want to do it. You could just flip it how you want to do it, but protecting Bron for sure is key. Because at the end of the day, AD is the way. Everybody know that. The way if AD plays, like you say, revenge season's a wrap. Protect LeBron's minutes, his body, we could do whatever. We could bring Prince in. Okay, we can't.
Yeah, I feel like no one's even talking about him. I feel like no one's even talking about Prince.
No one's
like
talking about Prince.
He's forgotten about. Like, and I'm not calling him a game changer or anything about that. Was a hell of a pickup at $4.5 million.
People sleep.
So real quick, funny story. Yeah, no, a funny story real quick. So the thing is, a funny story is the Lakers wanted Christian Wood on July 1st. All right, they did. Yep. They wanted Christian Wood. They went after him. The Lakers offered Christian Wood $4.5 million. Christian Wood and his people turned it down because he thought he was going to get the $13 million exemption, right?
And he wanted that.
So the Lakers moved fast. Yeah, and the Lakers moved fast and moved on to Prince, right? So the Lakers went back when the market dried up, like, hey, we offered you the money, you turned us down, so we were willing to pay you. You turned us down. Now that money's been spent. So there's a lot of things here that led to this. Was one, that the Lakers showed interest with him out the gate with the money they had to spend and not just the minimum. So a lot of people don't know that little fact right there. So that's another thing that had Christian Wood kind of really appreciating what the Lakers did, because they did try to get him. They did go for him early on. They did talk to him on day one, and they did offer more than the minimum. He turned it down, and in the end, that's what he got, because that's all the Lakers had to spend. But in the end, when you do good business and you reach out to people, sometimes you end up getting the guy you wanted for less than you thought, because the guy overplayed his hand. Real quick, Problem Child, shout out to the Lakers Fast Break family in here. Facts. Shout out to them. Man, it's a blessing to have y'all pull up here. They shot you guys a recommendation. You came by. Hopefully you guys like what you hear, and continue to keep coming by. Appreciate you guys very much. Let's see. Who would you play first, Reddish or Prince? I'd play Prince. To me, I think that's easy. I think, again, Prince has played a role and played well in a role in almost every team he's been on. He's never been a problem as far as I know. So I would go with Prince. Like I said, Cam's going to have to, I think Cam's going to have to spend about half a season showing that he's a good soldier before they take him serious, unless there's injuries or he comes out of nowhere and just self-resurrects his career and does something that we didn't see coming, right? So heavy duty, exactly. Man, this is great. Lakers Fast Break, man. All these guys beer, all these guys around the drinks, man. Look at these guys. The flood, they appreciate the sport. This is incredible, man. Let me get through these chats here. Let me catch up. We should be able to have in-game load management. Yes, Angie, again, great minds think alike.
Oh, yeah.
It's what I've been saying. And we'll have games where they play the first quarter in the games that maybe they would have set them, even on the back-to-back, maybe play them a little bit, get them out, so that way they qualify. The league's probably going to have to adapt to that at some point too, right? They're probably going to be like, these guys have figured out how to play 6 minutes and still qualify. So there will probably next be a minute that they got to qualify for as well, but the league will still find a way around it. It's not going to be like you got to play 40 minutes a game to qualify, right? So at the end of the day, I think if they can keep LeBron at 30 and AD at 35, that would be a win. All caps, WIN, all caps for the Lakers if they can pull that up. And that's exactly what I'm hoping for. Phil and Chris, that's true. Phil Handy will help Reddish's game, but he's also going to be helping Max Christie's game. He's also going to be helping Jared Vanderbilt's game. And if Christie and Vando are able to hit shots, especially Vando, if Vando can hit that corner three and do something with putting the ball on the floor and pulling up the hit shots, it's over, right? It's over, because Vando's going to be out there because of his defense. So if he's able to hit shots and lock down wings, Vando is going to play. So that only, and Max Christie's floor and ceiling might be higher than Cam Reddish, which is not crazy to say. So that alone, and the Lakers are invested in him, and probably want to keep him long term. I think it's going to be hard for him to take minutes away from those guys, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Just need to stop fouling 3-point shooters. Yeah, this is true. Also, I think when he was a little bulkier, Angie, it was harder for him to recover. He lost his agility. I think it looks like he's got that back, and I think he'll be able to. So his closing out, he wasn't able to stop on a dime, so he's running into people, or he wasn't able to get to the spot he wanted, so he was kind of just lunging. That when you change your training to get back to being more agile and use his length versus his strength, I think that's going to affect it. But you're absolutely right. He had way too many of those. But I do think that the way he's working on his body, I think that's going to change from there. With Ray Joe, appreciate pulling up. Thank you for the support. Greatly appreciated. With Wood coming in, Max is probably going to get 0 minutes. Well, I don't think so, because they don't play the same position. So Max is going to be playing the guard and Wood is going to be playing the big. So I still think that Max is going to they're going to give Max a chance this year. And that's for sure, because he's going into restricted free agency next year, and they definitely want to see what they have with him. So that I definitely going to see him getting some minutes. Bloodhound. The beauty of this roster is they can adjust the team to the team that they are facing. Big facts. They can go big. They can go deep with wings. They can go small. They got tons of versatility, and that front line is going to be an absolute problem. Bloodhound. That is for sure. Let me see here. Yes, please hit that like button. Help your boy out, man. Come on. Help your boy out, please. We got some new guests in the building. We got people over from Lakers Fast Break. We got people from all the, the Kareem Report, Lakers in 5, Dan the Lakers fan, Big Baby. We got Angry Lakers fan. Shout out to all them. Man, I know I'm probably missing someone, and I apologize. But shout out to all them and everyone that comes over, that comes over here and who found me on those other channels. And those guys have been pushing me for a long time to do more of my own shows. Those guys, they're great hosts of having me on their show, but they're also great supporters and continue to push me to get better. So shout out to all those guys that helped me when I first got started. Facts to them. We don't even know Buddy Hield's real. Bloodhound, that's true. He out here looking like a baseball player that's claiming he's 21 when he's 28 or something, right? That is absolutely true. Kierce Barrington, I hope I said your name right. Lakers 2024 NBA champs. Book it. You know what? Let me get a man from your mouth to the basketball god's ears. Man, we all hope and pray for that. And I believe that if LeBron James is healthy, if AD is healthy, and these guys play to their potential, the role players, and Darvin Ham has some growth, anything goes wrong, I believe Rob can fix it. I think we have an excellent chance to be champions this year. Obviously, there are other teams got excellent chances too. We're no way, shape, or form a favorite. I'm comfortable saying that, but I'll take our chances up against anyone, especially if our defense is top 5, and that's just how I feel. So, what is this?
I think Lakers should go ahead and put the staple on Vando.
I think they're going to try.
Go ahead. I think they're going to try to, so everybody can feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? No questions. Like, boom. All right, let's go. Then everybody's locked in because, when a player got that question in the back, you might not get that full, 100 on the court. So, go ahead and just get it out the way. This how you got Wood. This how you did AD with the money. Everybody locked in. Now it's like, man, the chemistry get even better. This is from me playing ball back in the day. Like, if you just playing and a guy you just here because you a sub. But when you don't feel like a sub and you like, I'm here to stay, it's always a better outcome. So they locked that in. I think it'll be even better. It'll be even better. It'll be a wrap.
Gotcha. Give me a second here. I got multiple people in here asking for the link. So let me go ahead and get people to pull up in here. So give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. There's more chats coming through today, so I'm not doing a great job of staying on top of them, but I'm doing the best I can. so I hear. So
you went viral real quick.
Nah. Just I got borderline some ADD. You know what I mean? So I gotta focus on here, think about what I'm saying. I'm trying to not curse as much on these screens because I'll be letting them fly. So what is this? Tezo's mock. I probably butchered that. I apologize. Interesting unit. Gabe Vincent, Max Christie, Rui, Torian Prince, Christian Wood. That is an interesting lineup. That is one. And that could be a lineup that swarms for sure. I think you're going to see multiple different lineups that can swarm. I think you're going to see, we're going to see all kinds of stuff pop off. It's going to be incredible over here. So let me get to a couple of these real quick. Hold on 1 second, guys. Portia, can I come in? I got you in here, Portia, Laker girl. Give me 1 second here. Let me see. When the Lakers make the playoffs, who was our biggest threat? If I had to say our biggest threat, I would probably definitely Denver. And then outside of that, there's a couple of guys. I would say in the West, yeah. So I would say Denver, the Suns, and it's probably going to be a random team. And of course, there could be teams in the East that are going to be a problem. But in the West, I would say Denver and the Suns. I'm very curious to see how the Kings develop.
Me too.
I'm not saying they're a threat, but I do think they're going to get better. I like their team. I like what they have, and I'm not supposed to, but as a basketball fan, I try to keep it a buck here. I think they're going to build on what they did last year. I like Mike Brown as their coach, but I think it's going to be Denver, and I think it's going to be Phoenix. And Phoenix obviously comes down to health. And if they're going to have some of the same struggles that we had with Vogel with his rotations and his offensive struggles. He's got guys out there who could score, but if his rotations are jacked up, that could be a problem. But he's going to help their defense. But Denver, they're the repeating champs. They're the current champs, And I know that they've lost some guys, but they've still got an incredible player in Joker, and Murray's going to only get better. So I think those would be the two guys that I would say. So Laker girl, what's going on?
Nothing, just came by to show some love this year. This is my first time being on, and I just want to say I'm happy about the Christian Wood signing. Like I told Angry last night on his show that I'm excited for the season get started. I believe our Lakers gonna do some stuff this season.
Yeah, they gonna do all kinds of stuff this season, and hopefully some of that stuff includes holding a trophy, right? So
yes.
Definitely. And yeah, this is your first time pulling up. We're always on other shows together, so appreciate you pulling up for sure. So I always I catch you in the comments too. You always make sure to check out and leave some. So I appreciate you for that. Definitely appreciate you for that. So, but yeah, the Christian Wood thing is exciting. I saw Angry went live last night. I just wasn't in position. My internet where I was just horrible. So by the time I got home, luckily DJ and Lakers and 5 was on late. So I was able to at least tap, see someone show because my situation was horrible. Like the Wi-Fi was trash where I was at. It was just booty. So real quick, I'm gonna roll out the red carpet here. Speaking of Lakers fast break, I've got someone coming in here who's been very gracious with me. They've got the people all in the chat today. So shout out to Lakers fast break. And we got my man here, Joe, coming in here from Lakers fast break. What's up, sir?
Good to finally be on here, Jeff. We have a PG type volume where we're at. Yeah. I'm not against it. I'm in support of it, but I don't know. I think your delivery works better in connection with my delivery. So I think we got to go all out on that point.
No, for
hello,
sure.
Everyone.
For sure.
By the way, my name is Joe, aka Hawks 1947.
Yeah, Joe, definitely. I got your email late. I do apologize for that. But you and I would definitely will do that for sure. We'll map that out and have probably a little bit more structure. But yeah, we can let it fly at that point. No problem. Well, we'll have a fucking good time. Trust me. All right. So no doubt about it. So Joe, I'm sure you got some thoughts on this. You guys have talked about this at length, as pretty much a lot of people have, the Christian Wood situation. I don't know how much of the show you've caught, but I like the signing definitely at the price. The price is right for me. Low risk, high reward, stretch big. What are your thoughts?
I think the inevitability of it was higher and higher as it kept going. If Christian Wood wasn't going to get a multi-year deal with Dallas, as free agency went with the way it went, money ran out, and then at that point, who's gonna spend that extra money on Christian Wood with whatever is going on behind the scenes with him? There still hasn't been a clear idea of what really is going on, other than there's petulance, I guess. Jason Kidd, who was his coach, Lakers are pretty close with him. So whatever happened there doesn't seem to have affected the Lakers, considering they have a pretty good source there. But this is a smart move, regardless of what's going on, because it's such a low risk. If he ends up becoming a malcontent in late November, just bounce him. Just get him the fuck out of there. You don't need to worry about, oh man, did we just drop $45 million for 2 years for this guy? No, it's a low risk, high reward. And as far as him, if he's not wackadoo, he's just being a dick. That's a difference. It's different when you're messed up, like really, and when you're just being a dick. If he's just a dick, then he's got to know that his money needs to, be back. And if you want your money back, even if the Lakers don't win the title, play your role. See if you can drop 30 on the other guys instead of us on Christmas last year, and and do your job. Because if he does his job, AD can play at the 4 the majority of the season, and that's, to me, the most important part of this.
Yeah, like I said, I know we've all discussed this. I'm not as crazy as AD at the 4 as some people are, because I think he will play there. I think my thing is this: as long as he starts at the 5 and finishes at the 5, that's what I want to see, because that's kind of where the Lakers are at their best. But I would like to see him get some in game at the 4. In fact, that is absolutely true. I would like to see that. And I think the Christian Wood situation helps that. Obviously, the Jackson Hayes situation. I think AD, they got different ones, because you got Christian Wood, who could stretch the floor. You got Jackson Hayes, who's got a little bit more game than people think. And I think working with Phil Handy is gonna help him. But the lob threat with him and the rib running and the shot blocking, I think I think Jackson Hayes has a chance to turn his career around here. And there's a lot of guys that are going to be able to do that. And so I really think that is going to be something to watch for, is which one of these guys kind of takes the task and kind of separates themselves from the rest, and then who earns those minutes. DJ, Lakers at 5, what's going on? Thanks for joining, man.
Anytime, man. What's happening with you, bro?
Oh man, I was saying I was thinking you last night, because by the time I got out of where I was in internet hell, I got back and you were on late, so I was able to catch a stream last night. So appreciate you for you must have had the night off yesterday, because you ain't never gone that late. So I was like, I feel like I know DJ's work schedule at this point now. So I was like, yeah, because I was like, DJ's on, all right, cool. Because man, I'm telling you, where I couldn't even load Twitter X, whatever they call that shit now. I couldn't even load that up. So I was just like, I was even surprised I got the notification. It was like Woj has the ability to solve like third world internet or something, because I was getting nothing on my phone, but that came through. That was crazy. So, but so I did catch your stream yesterday. I did catch a lot of it. And, we've talked about this a lot. You've talked about a lot on your show. So now that it's happened, for the people who didn't catch your show last night, DJ, where are you at with it now? That it's 24 hours later.
All right. So let me appreciate you letting me on, man. Appreciate you supporting your boy too, bro. So let me say this, man. The fit of Christian Wood, I love it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Darvin Ham wants to run that 4-out 1-in, man. I mean, Christian Wood is perfect for that, bro. Like, I have no problem with his game. His game is perfect for what we need on this team. And just like I said yesterday, my chances of us winning the championship went from 85% to 92%. Like, I think we have a really good chance of winning the championship. Okay. Now, hold on now. Now, wait a minute. Now, let me take my Laker cap off for a second, okay? Now, now, got to keep it real, right? His locker room issues could be a concern. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it ain't. But I'm just saying his reputation of him being a locker room cancer type of guy, it brings me skepticism. Now, he is on veteran minimum, so, if it doesn't work out, it's easy to get rid of him, blah, blah, all that stuff. But I really do hope it works out, because I really think that he can be really good for this team, man. And he's exactly what we need. And I'm going to tell you this. His quotes that he had today I didn't really like it. I got to be honest with you, bro. Did you see it?
About him bashing Dallas on the way out?
Yeah, how he's bashing Dallas? I didn't like that, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, let me do some context. No. But let me apply some context here real quick though. And Joe brought up a good point about the Lakers having people in Dallas that can give them feedback on Wood. They also, so I can tell you this. I can tell you exactly. So the Lakers talked to Jason Kidd. They talked to JaVale McGee. Darvin Ham had him in Milwaukee. AD played with him in New Orleans. They talked to multiple people. And what basically came back was that basically the guy needs the right situation. He really hasn't found it yet. He's been on a bad team. He's had really nothing to play for. And that if it's going to work, it's going to be with a team like the Lakers or a team like, I'm just going to throw it out, maybe like the Warriors, like a team that's building a culture, that's going somewhere. And he isn't on a team that's going nowhere, and he has something to play for. From what I'm hearing, what Jason Kidd said is that I'm not going to bash him from any other team. He's just not a fit with us, is essentially what it was. But what he was literally upset about is Mark Cuban, from what I was hearing, and their front office was kind of kicking him behind the scenes. They were trying to lower his value. So they were hoping that someone would be able to work a sign and trade where they'd be able to get. So they were kind of doing some shady business there, and that got back to him. And that's why he kind of dabbed them on the way. Like I said, the Lakers even had a little fun with him, putting him in the Mavericks jersey on their post about how much he loves the Lakers. So that's kind of they're showing support to him. But I agree with you. Probably, if you're a guy who just had to take the minimum, I get where you're coming from, because it's a guy who had to take a minimum because he's got potentially some character issues. And that's the first like public quote you gave when you joined a new team. So I get what you're saying with that. But Joe, did you catch that part when he was when he said that? Joe.
Sorry, guys, I had it on mute.
Oh no, sorry.
I caught a little bit of it, not much. What was it again?
So he basically said, like, he was giving his quote about how happy he is, and how we talked to Darvin, and it was going to be, he was pretty much assured 15 to 20 minutes, and he was going to have a big role, and he was happy about that. And Darvin stayed in contact with him, and yada, basically just bigging up Darvin and the Lakers. And then he threw a jab in there. He goes, basically, especially how bad, like, or how Dallas handled it, essentially. Like, he basically put blame on them on his way out the door.
Yeah, the problem with this is not a current issue. This is just some guys are trying to get their money, and if they feel like they're not being utilized the right way so that they can maximize that money, they're going to resent whatever team, coach, whatever is going on. And at the end of the day, there is some timing involved with these contracts a lot. And then, of course, lately there's been some bad decisions made by players like Schroeder and Nerlens Noel, where they denied $84 and $70 million contracts because they thought they bet on themselves and the market would be a little bit better than that. But you got to do what AD did just recently, and he actually did it before a couple of years ago. Don't take a chance. If someone's throwing $70-80 million in your face, take it now. Worry it, and if you outplay that contract, they'll pay you more money.
Yeah.
I don't get why the agents might be advising them to take it. Usually, any kind of agent that I've come across or heard about, most of these guys don't tell their clients, don't take this money. They usually say, hey, take it and we'll renegotiate later or something like that. So I don't know what kind of advice these guys are getting. Coincidentally, Nerlens Noel was suing Clutch in that deal. And I'm like, well, how come, everyone else in Clutch is taking their deals when they're offered, yet you didn't? That doesn't look right. Doesn't make sense. So at the end of the day, Christian Wood needs to play this season like he's never before. And this is going to be very important. Christian Wood, if you want to be the starting center on this team, which that's right now still debatable, and you want to make an impact so that next season you get, 15-20 mil per, don't be a locker room problem. Play your ass off and play at least 70 games. He's played a good amount the last couple of years. Before then, wasn't so good, but he's played above 60. If he can play 70, make an impact during the regular season to where they're in a good position to get into the playoffs, and then, I'm not going to put the championship on him. No, if they win or not, I think it's irrelevant. If he plays well and they win or not, he can get his money. I mean, he's 27 years old. He's going to get that next big contract if he plays well.
Yeah, and when Young Africa was on here earlier today, Joe, he was breaking down some stuff, and basically, if anyone who has ever looked at Christian, and if you guys heard this early on, I apologize, I'm repeating it, but I think it's important. If anyone has ever looked at Christian Wood's per 36 and per 100 possessions, his numbers are incredible. So, he just hasn't gotten the minutes. And like I said, part of it could be because teams were worried about leaving him on the floor too much for defensive liability because he's been on bad teams. But at the end of the day, his per 36 and per 100 possessions are very, very good. So he's not going to get 36 minutes.
That's a great point, Jeff. That's a great point. I want to make this point as well. If you look at the analytics, I haven't delved into it too deep, and usually analytics I make fun of because when it's prime time, you need the talent, right? But let's look at it from the basics. Typically, an offensive player on a bad team that's not good on defense always seems to run into this problem. They always run into this problem where, we're not playing well, and he's not playing defense, but he's wanting to score, right? And then there's this rift. And if it's somebody like Jason Kidd, Rick Carlisle, guys that are highly egoed, which most coaches are typically, especially if they've had some success in their past or if they've been great players in the past, you get that, like, who the hell do you think you are? I'm Jason Kidd. Again, I'm paraphrasing here, guys, or I'm just telling the story. I didn't say Jason did that. But I wouldn't be surprised if Jason's sitting there like, hey, man, you know nothing about team basketball. I'm the second best point guard of the last 30 years. And, you listen to me. And, of course, somebody might be saying like, no, I ain't going to listen to you and blah, blah, blah. And here we are.
Yeah, no, that's very true. And you get some of those coaches. And Darvin Ham is the complete opposite of that. Where Darvin Ham right now, or at least last year, kind of lacked offensive X's and O's. What he thrives in is leading men, being a motivator, and being a master communicator. So he has what some of these guys don't have, right? So that my biggest knock on the Lakers wasn't even really Ham. It was that they didn't give him a legitimate like assistant coach. They didn't give him like a legitimate offensive guy who can help him through those struggles. Like that's where the Lakers messed up. They were trying to save money on assistant coaches, and that pissed me off. But I was like, get your shit together, Lakers. You got this guy who stars want to play for. They're vocal about it. Get this man called. Now they got Phil Handy. The thing is, people forget that Darvin was probably the second best developmental coach in the league, Handy being number one. The Lakers have the top two guys, right? And bringing over Jen. Jen was highly ranked too. So they have the best. So check it out. We've got the best scouting department and the best developmental guys, right? So at the end of the day, when you put those together, but that doesn't just work with youth. That doesn't just work with 18, 19, and 20-year-olds. They can they can recorrect some of these veteran guys. So we may have two teams in Los Angeles that specialize in that because that's what the Dodgers do. But now the Lakers are getting into that, right? Because if they can turn some of these guys around, if they turn Christian Wood into these two things alone, if they turn Christian Wood into a decent team defender and they can get Vando a corner three, just those two things, then this whole team's whole entire situation and season changes, no doubt about it. Real quick, shout out to Big Baby pulling it up. Big Baby, I think it's your first time live on my show, man. And shout out to Big Baby. He had the one and only Genie Bus on his show. So shout out to Big Baby for pulling that off, man. What's going on, guy?
Not much, man. Just here on my little 5-minute break before I get back into work. I just want to say, keep up the great work, bro. Proud of you. And Christian Wood's going to be really good for us, man. I'm looking forward to it.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you, man. You've supported me from the get-go. You know, we go back, and then we've I've watched you grow, and hopefully I can have a piece of the success you've had. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep trying. You know what I mean? But I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
What's that? Keep it up.
All right, appreciate you, bro. So let's see. So having said that, DJ, you still there? Are you I know you probably,
yes,
if you're
sir.
driving or not. Oh, there you go. I don't know if you're on the road or not. Sometimes it's like
I
mute out.
am.
All right, cool. So, what do you think? What do you think we're gonna see out of Vando at a full offseason and a training camp with the Lakers? And do you think he's gonna be able to add some type of offensive game?
Yes, I think he's going to add some offensive game. With Vando, you can tell Vando we all know Vando's a defensive specialist, right? But you can kind of tell the way he moves his body or something like that. He's not going to be this offensive guru that you think. Like he's not going to be like, oh man, this guy is freaking like, oh, he's going to be another Christian Wood. No, it's not. He's not going to be like that. You can tell by the way his body moves, right? But the thing is this: all he needs is a shot. Like just hit those corner threes. That's all we need you to do. You know what I mean? That guy, players were just leaving him open. You know what I'm saying?
Just be a threat to make it. Be a threat to make it. That's
it. I don't even care, bro. He can shoot 22% from behind the arc when it comes down to the top of the key, but shoot freaking like 39% from the corners. I'm good with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's all we need you to do, bro. You know what I'm saying? And so, and he's already a great defender. So I think Phil Handy is like you said, great development coach, bro. So. I think he's gonna get him right, man. You know what I mean? And the whole Christian Wood thing, I think you're spot on when you say he needs to be with the right team. And I think with this team, he does not have to focus so much on offense because we have so many players that can dominate on offense. So he can put more emphasis on the defensive end. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then of course he already has that capability of going off on offense. So when Anthony Davis is missing games, he can fill right in and be like, look, hey, I'm not gonna give you, freaking 40 and 20 like AD, but I can give you 28 and 12. You know what I'm saying? In AD's absence, I'm capable of doing that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's when we need him to go all in on the offensive end when AD's out. You see what I'm saying? So look, when we have a really good team, I'm telling you, man. This team, bro, I cannot wait for this season, bro. I'm telling you, man. I cannot wait, man. This is about to be off the chain, bro. I can't wait.
Yeah. I'm never this excited this early. Obviously the year we got Braun, the year we got shot, like all these things, obviously. But I'm more excited this year than earlier. Because even when I'm super excited, I still give baseball their chance. Football starts. Like I still okay. I'm gonna put basketball. I'm gonna start getting excited about basketball like October 1st is typically when when I start getting excited about that. But I'm super excited about that. And one quick thing, real quick. Wouldn't it be kind of crazy and kind of poetic justice if, by the craziness of all the things in the world, that if Christian Wood's defense ends up being what improves Anthony Davis's offense? That'll be nuts.
My God.
That'll be nuts. And it'll be because you hit it on the head.
Possible.
No,
That's
exactly. Because
possible.
you painted the picture. You hit it on the head. Because if he's going to be able to come in and focus on playing defense, and then, okay, when it's my chance, my turn on stage, I can shoot, I'll get my points now. It could change your whole season. So what do you think about that, Joe?
Oh, wow. It wouldn't be a surprise. Look, I saw two players in 2008 play defense that I never thought would play defense. And those two guys were Paul Pierce and Ray Allen.
Yep.
When KG arrived in Boston, right? So I'm watching this team. Yeah, I know everybody. Tom Thibodeau, the greatest defensive specialist in NBA history, all that stuff. I'm like, look, man, defense is about desire and want. Mm-hmm. And when you're an athletic freak like an NBA player is, I don't think people really truly understand. Even though you have a ground type guy like Paul Pierce, he's still athletically freakish, right? And then, of course, you got Ray Allen. I'm going, these guys bought into that system. They bought into what needed to get done. And Christian Wood has every ability. The guy's freaking 6'10", has a wingspan of a 7'3". This guy can be at least a distraction at the very least. And on top of that, spreading the floor, the Lakers will have never had this much floor space in the LeBron era, by the way. Just know that. Yeah. True. Yeah. So if you, and again, I know AD's been struggling from the perimeter in the last few years, but he's still somewhat of a threat. And now LeBron, Austin, to some degree, Russell have some more, I guess, lane to operate in. And he just cannot do what he's been doing wherever he's been doing in Dallas and Houston and those places. If just the distraction part. Now, if he struggles on defense a little bit, there is a problem with that if he's in the same lineup with D'Angelo Russell, because we can't have two guys in two prime positions like center with AD on there, LeBron, and then, of course, your point guard and D Russ. You can't have those guys being turnstiles. It's just going to throw off everything, and then, Darvin Ham's going to have to figure something else out. So I'm going to say, for Darvin Ham's, I guess, sake, if Darvin Ham can figure out lineups, he's going to have to switch this thing out throughout the year. He's going to have to still stay with the same starting lineup. I always preach and prefer continuity when it comes to starting the game with the same lineup every game, because it just I don't know. It's just like it's like training at the gym. It's just one of those things where things always work out better when you're scheduled like that. And then, of course, adapt during the game. Hey, if you think that you really need someone at the big position that can cover ground, then you probably won't want Christian Wood there. You probably want to obviously slide AD back. And by the way, Jeff, you know AD is not going to not play five a lot. AD, when we won the title in 2020, when it was showtime, when it was time to close your ass out, AD was at the five, and that's fine. That's fine. But you also had Caruso. You had LeBron that still had a little leg in him to play some defense, right? You had Desire there, right? Because it was playoffs and stuff. And I know he didn't shoot well, but Denny Green, real good at team defense and played a little bit defense too. So this is where Darvin Ham needs to put this thing together. And I'm just happy that he figured some things out in the playoffs. And I think it had a lot to do with the fact that they were able to acquire the players they got at the deadline, and they hit their stride right at the right moment. The only problem is they ran into the Denver Nuggets, who were it was just their year. It was the 2011 Dallas Mavericks. They were healthy. Everyone was clicking. Everyone understood their role. You had an MVP on there. Sometimes that happens, but this year, if LeBron and AD stay healthy, and Darvin doesn't get infatuated with his 3-guard lineups at the worst times, these guys are going to have a top 3 seed for sure, and they're going to be a problem in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I got them 55 wins. And I know that may be a little bit ambitious, but I really think I think the Lakers. I think the Lakers won't be satisfied unless they start the year 10-2 after going 2-10 last year. I think they want to come out crazy to start the game. And I think they want to rip fuckers' heads off. Like I think they really want to, they want to kill me like Biggie, man, kicking the door, waving the 4-4, and they want to go 10-2 at a minimum. I'm telling you, man, like they don't want to play around. They want to set the tone, because when they won the chip in 2020, they came out firing to start that season, and they never let off. They never let off the gas. And people want to talk about this, that, and the third. I'm not going to go too far on this because I hate the topic is toxic, but the bubble thing, everyone acts like we weren't just fucking shit up the whole beginning of the season, because we were kicking everyone's ass. We were doing the damn thing all season long. So there's a lot of things that I want to see from the 2020 team on this team, and that's how they start the season. I want them to start the season like that 2020 team did. And if they do, and the defense is anywhere near that level, and you make a great point there, because with AD in the money time at the 5, but we had the luxury. Keith Morris that year, he was one of those rare buyout guys that actually panned out. You know what I mean? A lot of those guys are big names, former stars, former guys, and you're really just signing the name, not the player, really. But Keith was actually the guy who came in and was a major contributor to us. So they almost had no choice but to play AD at the 5, because Keith was just hitting shots. And so it was like, if you get a guy like Christian Wood that can take that pressure off and hit those shots, and because like I said, to me, my thing isn't about AD has to play the 5 or has to play the 4. That's really not my argument. My thing is, like, it can sort out if they've got the right pieces with him. Doesn't really matter where. That's just kind of how I see it. If he's at the 4, great. If he's at the 5, great. But there's got to be some other big fucking contributing. And it's like, and without it, it's too much. You can't ask AD, go guard that guy, then get the rebound, then make the outlet pass. Oh, yeah, by the way, get your limping ass down there and dunk on someone. Like, it's unrealistic. It's unrealistic. So that's what I'm most excited about.
I thought it was poetic. One thing that doesn't get talked about a lot in that bubble chat title is Rondo wasn't missing shots. And I watched, extensively in 2010, Kobe essentially stand maybe 4 feet, 5 feet back of Rondo the entire series, because he's like, he ain't going to shoot. And he didn't. And I'm sitting there going, 10 years later, we have Rondo, we have LeBron and AD, and the third best player on that team, the third star, was Rondo, right?
It was.
And he wasn't missing from deep. Not a single. I felt like he was going to hit every shot. And I go, man, if this Rondo had showed up 10 years earlier, we wouldn't have won the title.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know,
we'd be behind this. We'd be behind the Celtics. Yeah, for sure.
That I'm telling you, man, that run, that 10-month title run, Jesus.
Yeah, it was an amazing time.
It was an amazing run.
That was amazing.
Ball George, he said it was like being in prison, right? Which is totally just stupid to say that, even though it's probably true. I'm like, dude, really? Like, you couldn't just hang for a couple months going to championship, and that just goes to show you. And I'm pretty brutal on the Clippers on our show, on the Lakers Fast Break, and I'll probably get heated during the season, especially if the Lakers don't beat the Clippers, because I'm about done with this.
Yeah, this is the year they got to do it. This is the year they got to do it.
This is the year.
They absolutely got to do it. They got the wings to do it. They've got all the pieces to do it. And Paul George, shout out to Palmdale P, man, and even upset that there's no strip clubs at Disney World, so he's a little tight about the bubble.
It's gonna be Apple soon.
Palmdale P.
It's gonna be Apple.
Apple World, yeah. This is true. This is happening.
Cinderella, produced by Apple.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. This is happening. This is hilarious in its own self. But
I was liking the feistiness with Woods about, even though I see what Lakers of Fire was saying about, he kind of didn't like how he did it, but I like the feistiness. You know what I'm saying? I like that fire. You know what I'm saying? Because really, we didn't really have that last year. Like, nobody like come at somebody. That's the only thing I like about it. But everything else I see what DJ saying. But
Yeah,
that's fine.
and that's
I like
what
that fire.
Rondo gave too. What Rondo gave,
Yeah,
I think
Rondo
a
gave
lot of
that
people
fire.
also forget that Rondo hurt his hand before in the bubble when they first got there.
He
He
did.
didn't play the first like series and a half, right? And then he comes in, and I don't know if you guys remember this, but he was getting bashed by ESPN. The commentators say he needs to
was.
play better. They're like he needs to
Yeah,
play
he was.
better, and it's like literally when they said that, it switched. And like Joe said, this dude just went into
Man.
a zone that it's like his shot. Like it's funny because Danny Green, who's this guy who was supposed to be the guy to make the shots for us, wasn't making the shots, and Rondo, the guy that they would leave open, was making the shots. But that's the
Right.
true tale of a championship team: is when guys step up. They stay ready when it's their turn. They fill in for their teammates who aren't doing it, who are struggling. And Rondo, a veteran, a former champion, been into NBA Finals already. He seized the opportunity and he was ready. And the biggest thing, whether you're a shooter, you're a non-shooter, but what hurts all these shooters when they become Lakers is the moment is too big for them and they're scared of the
Too
moment.
big.
Rondo
Man.
looks at that moment and says, "Fuck you, moment, come get some." And that's
Right.
exactly the type of moxie we need in our players. And Joe, that's where Rondo took it to.
He did.
Yeah, every bit of what you want in a player, Rondo has. There's this. It's not even just basketball. He's the kind of guy you want next to you too. You know, Rondo just has that. He has that aura of, look, man, I got this. I know what's going on. I know what time it is. I don't need you to explain it to me. You know, and I knew his rift in Dallas. I don't know what the hell did they do in Dallas where everybody wants to get out of there, right? I thought Mark Cuban was this owner's player guy, right? I'm like, what are they doing over there? But Rondo is the kind of guy, and Kobe loved Rondo even when he was a Celtic. So that's usually a good barometer, right?
Yes.
Although I don't know about the Westbrook thing. I know he pumped up Westbrook, and we saw what happened there. But Rondo saved his last good year at the perfect time, and his struggles in certain games because we were Laker fans. We're kind of down on him on certain games. Some games he wouldn't show up.
Yeah.
And then he'd show up out of nowhere. But in the end, we kind of knew, look, just get him where you need him. He's going to play the defense you need. And he started making shots. And I'm like, man, if Rondo is making these shots, you might as well just give the title to the Lakers. And that's exactly what happened because LeBron wasn't going to be stopped. AD, I'm telling you, man, AD in that finals series played defense like Hakeem Olajuwon when he in his prime. 94 MVP year. Yeah. I never saw a player like that guard three guys at once. I mean, that guy, and I've said this on my show a few times, he looked like a 7-foot Troy Polamalu without the hair. He was everywhere. And I remember that second quarter. If you guys ever just chilling, relaxing, whatever, and you got a copy of Game 6 of 2020 Finals, watch the beginning of the second quarter, and you tell me if that's not the best defense you've ever seen from a player in the NBA. I'm going to sound biased because I'm a Laker guy, but I don't know, man. I've seen a lot of basketball in my time. I've seen guys like Hakeem, like the Kevin Mutombo, Alonzo Mourning, Dwight Howard. I've seen a lot of those guys play defense. I had never seen any big with that kind of lateral movement, with that kind of anticipation, and that dominant. I mean, the Heat didn't know who they were in that game. They didn't know where to go. Like every time they were doing something, like, what the hell's going on here? This guy's here. And we ended up going up 30, and I went from dying in Game 5 almost to, I was just kicking it, smoking my cigar, and getting ready to hit the jacuzzi right after they won that one.
Yeah, but that's a game. That's a game that Bron and Rondo did the game plan for, right? They designed the defense for that game.
And I think, and with that, I think I might be wrong on this. I think Vogel might have listened to LeBron and Rondo in starting Caruso. Because Caruso didn't start that series until Game 6, and I mean it was like the guillotine to Miami at that point. And Miami, that Game 5 took Miami out. You could see they were spent. I just didn't know they were going to be spent to the point where they were out in the first quarter. I thought maybe towards the third quarter they'd finally run out of gas, but they had pretty much been dead after Game 5 and how they won that game, and then they didn't start Game 6 well, and it just got worse as it progressed.
And that's the advantage of was having Rondo on that team, bro. Like it wasn't just his play. Like it was like having another coach on the floor. You know what I'm saying? And also on the bench. Like I mean, like you said, starting Caruso. I mean, that was huge, man. Like look, LeBron and Rondo on the same team. Like Rondo said, man, that's two great IQ guys on the same team. Not too many teams are gonna beat them.
Yeah, they had multiple high IQ guys.
They're
on that team.
mean. They're mean. Like Rondo was a mean guy, right? Like mean. You know. And I remember the three-peat Lakers. I used to say, I'm like, man, these guys don't. Like even Rick Fox, you know, everybody gets all like, oh, you know, pretty, you know, pretty.
He was tough.
I'm like, no, man. No. Rick Fox has got it. He's got a dog in him. He's like that. He's got like dual personalities. And then you have Fish, who's a quiet, like respectable guy, but he's still mean. Then you have Kobe and Shaq, and then you have Robert Horry. And that's the kind of team I like. I just like mean players that can execute. Caruso was like that too. You can see he's got some fire in there, right? And I just enjoy. I mean, I've been a Laker fan my whole life. I don't know any better.
No, you're right about it. And most importantly, not just the surliness, but the guys who hate to lose. Like you get the combination of the nastiness with the will to win and the hate to lose. And Angie hit it on the head here. I'm not gonna lie. I was like praying to the basketball gods that one way or another we would end up with Rondo as an assistant coach when they let go of Vogel. I still want him as a coach. I still want him on our bench because I think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be a star head coach, and I think once he gets on a bench as an assistant, he won't be there long. He's gonna get a team. I just feel it. Once he's got to get back in the league because he had some troubles, right? But if he gets on a bench, he's gonna be a name that teams. Because he's already got the reputation of being probably the best film guy in the league. So it's like when you get him, if you add him to a bench, and man, that would be huge. Laker girl, I see you on here, but I haven't heard from you. But you still on here?
Yeah, I'm here. If I may add a point about Rondo, I was watching something on. He did an interview today, and Rondo was saying his favorite championship was winning the 2020 championship with the Lakers. And I agree. If Rondo was assistant coach for the Lakers, that would be off the chain.
Yeah, that would be, and I'm praying it still happens because again, the Lakers seem to take care of their own, and if no one's going to really help Rondo out to get him back in the league, I can see the Lakers giving him a boost. I really, really can, because if no, that is a beautiful, brilliant basketball mind that's not in the game right now, and I don't know if he's officially retired from playing, and maybe that's why. But when he does that, if no team offers him a job, I think it's mandatory for either the Lakers or Celtics to give him one. And I don't want to see him go be a fucking leprechaun. So bring him back over here. Bring him over here. You know what I mean? And get him over here.
The thing with Rondo that you have to be very careful with is Rondo needs a star that he can. He's got a Greg Popovich type delivery. It's very, you know, he's not going to be, you know, pampering your rear end, and he's going to need a star. He's going to need a star that can get basically eat shit when he says something, so that everybody stays in line. If he goes to a New Orleans with a bunch of okay and really good players that aren't really about winning, he won't last. He'll berate them in practice. They'll tune him out and he'll get fired. He needs to go to a team that has a star that'll eat shit from him, and then everyone else will deal with it. And that's the only thing with Rondo, because he's like a Mike Singletary of basketball, man. That guy will tear your face off if you mess with him. And it'd be a shame if you don't take advantage of his brain in basketball. But you're gonna have to have a star that works with him.
Hey, I swear to God, if freaking Jason Kidd swipes him up, bro, I'm gonna be pissed.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be.
He'll get his job.
A great point.
Rondo will take his job if that happens. I don't think he would. Do that.
Yeah. See, that's my next point. No, that's an excellent point, because that's what I was gonna say. I think the Lakers don't want to I think Rondo has a chance to be a rising star coaching candidate. And one thing about this is I don't like this guy as a coach. I really don't. I don't like Doc Rivers as a coach. He annoys the shit out of me in just numerous ways, right? But one thing where I've got to give him his flowers, and I really got to support him on this, is Doc has never been afraid to bring that next guy in, or the guy. He was never afraid to bring Thibodeau on his staff. He was never afraid to bring Tyronn Lue on his staff. He's helped Sam Cassell for years. So one thing about Doc, now one thing, because I think he's an overrated coach and he's really not that great, having these guys makes him look like a better coach. So I get that part of it. But at the same time, he still did it where a lot of guys get very intimidated and uncomfortable with having a guy on their bench who could potentially replace them if things go wrong. So that's a great point about him potentially taking Kid's job. But a team that I'm really kind of nervous about him going to, because I think he signed a 4 or 5 year deal, is Vogel. Vogel may look to snatch him up because that team is what he brings is something they're really going to need. That's kind of the threat to me when I think about it, because you already got his former coach there, and he doesn't rock with Brad Stevens like that. So and then pretty much everywhere else he's went. He hasn't been, but Vogel, I think him and Vogel had a good relationship. So I think if there's a threat out there, when he becomes a commodity, I think it could be them.
Because man, think of him talking to Ayton and making Ayton right. You get what I'm saying? Because that's all Ayton needs. Somebody like a Rondo talk to him. Oh yeah, you're right. I don't want that to happen either. Because they wake up. I don't want them to win.
And Rondo was always great with his rookies too. So he's been great with young talent. So everywhere he goes, the rookies love Rondo. The veterans, he got into it with a little bit more. Remember when he was in Chicago, when he had that rift with Jimmy and Wade, when Wade was that 1 year strange year, he was with the Bulls. It was Rondo who was taken up for the rookies because the veterans were kind of bullying him. And Rondo stepped up to Butler, Jimmy, and Wade, and Mr. Big Bad Jimmy Butler. Rondo shut him up. So it's like Rondo, I think, would be good for a young team as well, because, like I said, Rondo is like no smoke whatsoever. Like he goes through the smoke, he'll get in your face. Like any man who rocks some of the haircuts that Rondo's has, he gives no fucks. So, like I said, that boy's ready, and I want to see him back in the league, man. I really do.
I remember that confrontation he had with Kawhi though.
Oh, that look on the face, that look on his face. He's like, what? I do it too low. I do it too low.
Conversation with Kawhi, bro, and then the Clippers was like, "Oh hell no, he gotta go."
Because he literally got traded. He gave him a look like, what? I do it where? Like, no superstars ever had a problem with where I put the basketball. Shut up, Kawhi. Go rub your knee somewhere, man. But yeah, man, I'm Rondo. I think we all agree with that. But outside of that, I think Darvin Ham's going to take a leap this year. I think he's going to become a better head coach this year. I think the Lakers actually spent a lot of time with him this offseason. I think the guy I talked to about this isn't as solid as some of the other people I talked to. So I would take this with a grain of salt. But from what I heard is the Lakers had Darvin meeting with a lot of former and current like head coaches that they've got like relationships with, and really spent time with trying to improve his in-game rotation management and some of his offensive sets. So again, this isn't one of my top people I talk to that I trust 100%. This person's never really done me wrong with information. He just never really gives me a ton of good information. So I can't say that with anything, but it does kind of make sense. But if that's true, then the Lakers have kind of gone out of their way to give him the support and the tools and now the roster that he needs to be successful this year.
I was already Darvin Ham. He had some questionable, rotations and stuff like that. He didn't know when to call timeouts and things like that. But I had some complaints about him, last year. But I got to be honest, man. Hey, he got that team that was barely put together mid-season all the way to the Western Conference Finals. You know what I'm saying? And beat the Golden State Warriors, who never lost before. Every time they made the playoffs, they never lost. They always made the finals. So, you know what I'm saying? So Darvin Ham, he gets a lot of respect from me. Right after he beat the Golden State Warriors, so I was like, hey, this season I expect him to progress, and I think he's definitely gonna get better, man. I just think, but again, last year, bro, he got my respect last year, man. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I think we're definitely gonna see growth. I was one of the guys. I defended him. I got to I got attacked a lot this year because of defending him. And, I know the Darvid scam name was running wild. But I saw, and I still see the potential in Darvin Ham. And I understood how hard it was as a rookie head coach for what he inherited. Taking the Laker job as a rookie head coach is tough enough, let alone a Laker team with LeBron James, and it's a struggling team. You've got the Westbrook situation, not an ideal roster for a rookie head coach. There was a lot of things against him. And once the Lakers did their job and kind of steered the ship there and corrected things, I think we saw a different coach. And I think it was going to take a full year, and it was going to take a playoff series. And to be honest, I think one of the number one things, watching his mentor get whacked, I think was the biggest jarring thing to him, because Coach Bud had a lot of his coaching tree that he came from. Coach Bud's, a lot of his mistakes that Darvin used, some of those fundamentally went away as soon as Bud got fired. And I think he at least adapted, like, okay, this isn't working in today's game where these star players, like there's just a stubbornness and then refusing to make adjustments. And the things that Bud did, Darvin had a lot of that in him. And he was kind of separating himself a little bit. But when Bud got fired, that's when you really saw a shift. And he started making more adjustments in the playoffs. He pivoted there. And I think the writing was on the wall there. And, he taken another cue from his mentor. And it was like, okay, like he got out here because of this. I need to switch. So I think we're going to see it. I think we're going to see the same Darvin Ham from a level of leadership, but I think we're going to see the better rotations and the better offensive schemes. I do believe that this year.
Definitely not starting 2-10. That's for sure.
Oh man, I want 10-12. I'm gonna be pissed. We need 10-2.
We're gonna find out early here, guys. They have some formidable teams that they're starting out with. You're talking about Denver, Phoenix, and Sacramento. 2 of them are on the road, and then you got Orlando between LA. You got Orlando in between LA and Sacramento, and then Orlando again in between LA and Miami. It's the first, 7 games. Man, we're gonna probably learn a lot about who the Lakers are in those 7 games. If they come out 4-3 in those games, you're probably going, all right, get their feet wet. They come out 5-2. It's a good sign that they're probably going to have a really, really, really good year. If they come back out 2-5, man, the lynch mob is coming, man. It's going to come, and they're going to be waiting outside the crypt and to be like, hey, man, what the hell did you do? Because, Laker fans have no patience. I'd say the only team on the planet that might be worse in terms of patience is maybe Manchester United fans. but again, we do have to temper our expectations a little bit. But we're going to find out, I think, probably in preseason what Darvin Ham's plan a little bit is. He's not going to show his cards in preseason, but, I mean, I don't know how you won't be encouraged by what you've already seen this summer, just in Austin Reeves' performance at FIBA, Max Christie in Summer League. If Max Christie ascends to a rotational player, I'm talking about a guy that's playing 15, 20 minutes, that means the Lakers are winning games, right? Austin, man, he's doing this step back, drop, just kickbacks now hitting back on missed shot dunks. I mean, I was saying, man, did this guy hit his ceiling last year? And if we just have him be the same guy, now they're talking about him possibly being a candidate for most improved player. Usually most improved players are guys that were injured the year before, or you didn't know about them the year before, and all of a sudden make an all-star team or whatever, man. They're already talking about Austin Reeves improving on what he did last year. If Austin Reeves improves on what he did last year, and you got guys like Max Christie who are in their second year, all of a sudden hitting shots and playing good D, no, man, they're going to have so much depth that LeBron and AD can do what we're praying they do, which is not play a lot of minutes during the game. LeBron cannot play more than 29 minutes a game this season in the regular season on the average. Cannot. If he does, if he's dropping 35, 36, we're going to have the same problem we had last year, and we can't afford it. We can't afford it if you want to win a championship.
Yeah, I think we were talking earlier with me and Sam. And Sammy, if you want the link again, I'll get you back in. The me and Sammy were talking about, we agreed 35 minutes for AD, 30 for LeBron would be ideal. Obviously, closer games are going to dictate that, but 30 minutes for LeBron. I would love 30-30, obviously, but 80, 35 for AD.
AD's still in his prime. AD's still 31. At some point here, AD needs to take home a Defensive Player of the Year award. Yeah. I mean, it would be a shame if he doesn't get at least one of those. And can we get a top 5 MVP performance at least? Maybe top 3? He's going to have to play 70 games if he wants that, though.
Yeah, and I think that's why he's going. I think that's why he's going to. I think him and LeBron both want to do the 65 plus because LeBron still wants to add to the legacy. He wants another All NBA team. This is the year again where I think AD is going to really chase some legacy moments. I think he wants as many awards as he can get. He's going to want to come for Defensive Player of the Year, All Defensive Team, MVP consideration. I think AD's coming for everything, even the damn All-Star MVP. Like I think AD is going to be his revenge season, and he's coming for it all. And to be honest with you, I think that's the AD Braun wants to see, and I think that is when we will see Braun pass the torch when AD is willing to take it. But AD has to be willing to take it because if Braun hands him the torch and he senses that he's kind of gentle with it and not taking it, no, give it back. And you see that in games when the games start and they're trying to get AD and AD's got he's not coming out aggressive. He's fading away jump shot. He's on the floor 5 times in 2 minutes. And then Braun's like, no, I'm taking over this game. That's it. I've seen enough. And he wants to see him come out the gate aggressive and active. And that's what he did in 2020. Joe, DJ, Laker girl. Y'all remember how hyped we were in that preseason game against the Warriors when AD was catching over the head reverse lobs with one hand? Like how many dunks he had? How many dunks he had on the Warriors in the first 3 minutes of that game? Like that's the AD we need to start a game.
Bro, I was so hyped for that. And then after the game, then you had Warriors players talking about, bro, we playing Giants out there.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it was a wrap. We knew it. And remember what the Lakers said, and they got made fun of this. Do you guys remember their social media strategy? After game 1 of the preseason in 2019. Do you remember what the Lakers did? And they got mocked for this. They got mocked. You guys don't remember?
Nuh-uh.
When they just said the league's been put on notice. And that was their marketing campaign. When the league's been put on notice. And so many people made fun of that all season. And we won the fucking chip. So you were put on notice. So, but like I said, but it was
you had fools saying that we were going to make the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh, Mannix, Chris Mannix.
Thinking? Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the biggest punk bitch of them all, Bond Tips. Sorry.
How the hell? Like, seriously, I mean, you say that they need a year to win a champ, like play together. Okay, I'll buy that. They might not make the playoffs. I mean, were you really trying to get clicks saying that? Not only did they make the playoffs, but they ran through everyone. Come on, man. You gotta do better. The journalism's got to be better. I mean, if you're at this point, we have the information, guys. It's not the 90s anymore. It's not the 80s, okay? So stop insulting our intelligence. This is one of the things that needs to start getting back to the basics, okay? Have some relevant backing with what you say. You don't have to be right all the time. And you also can make a prediction and be wrong and be okay. Look, I'm a Laker guy, so I'm obviously feeling very confident that they have a team that can win it all. So I'm going to pick them, Last year, I picked Denver and Miami to go to the title game. In the preseason, I happened to be right in that one because I saw what Denver was doing. The only thing is I thought Miami might win it, and I was wrong because I thought the East was going to have enough nuts to finally get over the hump, and I got wronged on that one. And I'm not going to be wrong again. The East is forever right now the least until you prove me wrong. When is the East going to finally get a team that can roll from beginning to end? When does that happen? When? Maybe 2012. That's about it. LeBron's best team, right? Miami. And even that one, he struggled to win against Boston. They were down 3-2. He had to come back and win it in 7. So it's just sometimes, and I'm guilty of this. Sometimes you get a little bit of softy on things. You certain guys you like in the league. You want to pat them on the back, man. Fuck that. I'm done with that shit, man. I'm ready to go. Look, reality's reality. Show me what you got.
Yeah,
show me what you got. Right.
That is true. So it was the East is, I think what it is, just going an entire run. So my man Young Africa said, didn't the Bucks just win? Yeah, but I think what he means is just kind of like the dominance, like just all the way through, and a team that's just running with.
Yeah, I mean the dominance from beginning to end. I'm not talking. I mean the Bucks were 1 or 2 plays away from getting swept in the finals. It's semantics. I know. I get it. It's all perspective. But in the end, guys, I haven't seen a dominant East team, really a dominant, I mean like juggernaut East team since really LeBron's Miami team. But even they struggled to win those 2 titles in those 4 years he was there. And even the Celtics team in 08, they went 7 games in the first 2 rounds and 6-6 the last 2. They played almost every playoff game except 2 to win that title. You see the Lakers and 09 and 2010. I mean, shoot, 2010 and I believe in 2001, the Lakers played every team every team they played in those 2 playoffs were 50-win teams.
Yeah, it's true.
Just no, come on, man. Competition matters.
Yeah. Yeah. Competition definitely matters. And it was that was 50-win teams and. But Kobe, I think even the 2009 team, I think he went through a bunch of 50, all those 50-win teams too.
They were off. I think the first one was Utah. They had won 48. But
okay.
2010 was
close.
50.
Okay, gotcha. I knew it was post Shaq Kobe.
2010 they ran through everyone that had 50 wins. The Oklahoma City Thunder had 50. They were 50-32 that year, and then they faced who was it? Was it Utah, Denver? And then obviously the Celtics in the finals.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the East brings to the table this year, because I don't know. I don't know who's coming out of the East at this point. Like obviously, like I don't know what Milwaukee is going to be. Obviously, we don't know what Philly's going to be. Miami is not a team I take serious during the regular season. I don't start taking them serious till play-in time. And I think they're perfectly fine with that. I think they're like, okay, I don't care where we land as long as we get in and we can make life hell for someone and see where it goes. But I think, as much as I hate to say it, I think I got to see Porzingis' health is going to be key, and they're going to have to see how much that loss of Marcus Smart changes that culture, and how that their head coach, if he's learned anything from just being a fucking moron throughout a lot of the playoffs last year in Missoula. But the Celtics are going to be right there again, just because they seem to always be in the mix.
Porzingis healthy, I would say you have a good shot at Boston hitting the finals, which is going to make this even more epic if the Lakers get there, because I really believe the NBA can really, really have a good one here with 2 teams with 17 going for number 18 in the finals. That
would be great. Yeah,
I wanted that in 2020 so bad. And the fuckers couldn't get a couple of plays their way to win it. We would have wiped them. They were, even in 2002, man, they were up 2-1 against the Nets.
Yep.
And I'm like, man, we're gonna roll. They just made the most amazing comeback in playoff history too. And I'm like, man, just win 2 more. I'll get fucking Shaq and Kobe gonna whoop your ass in the finals. And of course, we didn't see that, unfortunately.
The NBA is praying for that to happen.
Oh, they absolutely are. Because it's not only just Lakers versus Celtics, it's Lakers with LeBron versus the Celtics.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on, I got it. Oh my God! I'm telling you right now, I am disowning everyone I know in my Irish blood the second we face them in the finals. I can live with it until then, but outside of that, oh my God, I am praying for that, because I think we'll beat them. I absolutely think we'll beat them. What is it that Phil Jackson said about the Celtics?
Jeff, you're full Irish? You're full Irish?
I'm not full Irish. No.
Because I see Paisan in there too. I hear it.
I'm a hot mess, bro. I'm I'm a walking, talking, melting pot, bro. Like, yeah, I got Paisan in me. I'm a fucking mess. But unfortunately, I didn't get any of the good qualities. I just got all the drinking habits.
Hey, man, your crew, your crew, your family were equal opportunity employers, man.
There we go.
You gotta give respect there.
There we go. No, man, I've got. It's funny because it's not only that, right? I've got all this in me. Then I've got all these dialects in me because, like, I'm East Coast when I was younger, right? So I got New York in me. I got the Midwest, and I got fucking California and like hip hop culture. So it's like my dialect goes in so many different directions, and depending on what I'm drinking, you will think I'm from a different city. So it's like, it is crazy. And I've met people and I see them a second time. They're like, are you the same fucking guy? You know, I'm just like you haven't cursed once in like an hour. Like, I know, I don't know what's going on right now, but, but I can be all over the place. And it's because I got all these beautiful, different things in me and different cultures and backgrounds. And it's fun. You know what I mean? And then, which makes me a massive foodie too. So I got to get one of these treadmills that like you walk while you're working on me. Cause I love the snacks too much, man.
Jeff, here's some advice coming from a guy that's done spin for 24 straight days. I was doing spin before then, but I said 24 days ago I'm going to do it every day until my legs fall off. So I get up in the morning. Sometimes I'll get up at 4:30. Sometimes I get up at 5:30. Sometimes I get up at 6:30, depending on which session. And man, that stuff wakes you up. It's about 45 minutes. You sweat like a dog. It's not as taxing on the legs. You got, and I know my wife's not going to like to hear this, but you got gorgeous women I don't know what it is about spin and women, but they all wear Lululemons and they all like to spin. And you got good music in there and the place is hot and you're just getting a good workout and it goes by quick. And that's the key. It wakes you up and it goes quick. And yeah, that would be a good start. I would say try to find something like that, at least to kind of get your mind beyond just working out. Because sometimes when I'm in the gym, obviously I lift about 4 times a week. You know, if you know, a lot of times it's a little more difficult when you got to do it on your own. Sometimes you need a kick in the ass with somebody.
Yeah, no, for sure. I have done it. This is my third straight day working out though. So like I'm getting back into my routine. So like before I got married, like I lost 50 pounds from my wedding. I probably put about 23, 24 of it back on. So I'm trying to get back to that 15 a little bit lower. You know what I mean? So I'm focused on it. My problem is always with me. It's just my damn schedule. Same with this YouTube shit, trying to have time to do it all. But I'm definitely gonna get on it, man. I'm telling you that I promised myself. So I'm the hardest on myself. So I'm definitely gonna get back on it. DJ, I know DJ been working on, man. DJ, when you post your videos, you be having me insecure as fuck, man. You got to put those damn guns away. DJ, you killing me, bro. You was killing me, bro. DJ out here looking like LeBron James when he posts his videos. Like, what are you doing, DJ? You are killing me right now. I swear, I'll be supporting everyone's channel, right? So like, it just so happened, like, if I see DJ come on me before I'm about to go work out, I'm just like, man, fuck this shit. I ain't working out on nothing, man.
You gotta visualize it, Jeff. You gotta visualize it.
I know.
I saw a picture, by the way. I was in college. It was 1997, right? And there was a picture with all of us. I joined a fraternity. We had done an activity, and we got thrown in the pool and all that stuff, right? And we all took a picture, and I saw my Captain America jawline at the time. And of course, at the time, you don't see that shit. You don't see that shit, right? You don't think it's enough at that time, right? Or ever. I had the reverse big, what do they call it? Bigism, or whatever the hell they call it. Dysmorphia, whatever the hell, big dysmorphia.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that what I look like? Holy shit.
Bigorexia.
Bigorexia, that's it. I'm sitting there, I'm like, how come no one told me I had that jawline there, man? I mean, what the fuck? I got to get that back. So I told everyone, I'm like, hey, man, I got to get that jawline back. So I'm going to be doing something every freaking morning, and I'm going to get top notch on my diet. I'm going to get to that by March on my birthday. I'm turned 46 on March 1. So,
oh shit, okay.
Jeff, keep doing what you're doing, man. Hopefully by March, we'll get a good idea on what the Lakers are doing, and we'll be central casting with that, looking good.
No doubt. I'll definitely get there. And Andrew brings up a good point here about the Celtics we were talking about, though. The Celtics want to have one of their 6 men this year with Lewis not reffing the games no more. That is absolutely right. That is absolutely right. Young Africa, welcome back to the building, sir.
Oh, what's up, man? You know, I was just listening to y'all workout plans, and one thing I gotta say is, coming back to the Lakers, man. When we're talking about working out, man, I hope one thing that we did have was physicality last season, right? And especially in the conference finals with Jokic dominating AD in the post and just with the physicality. I remember that play in the last game, close game. He goes baseline, bodies up AD, and finishes strong at the rim. Jokic, man. And so one thing I want to ask you about is we heard AD get more in a, it seemed like a cardio plan. He might be trying to slim down, like you were saying, Jeff, before. And what do you think about the physicality, even with the Christian Wood, who's one of his biggest weaknesses is physicality on the defensive side of the ball? Finishing at the rim through contact is a weakness of his. Even he finishes lobs very well. If he's open on the roll, he's actually finishing well, but with contact, not great. How much do you think Jackson Hayes is going to factor in? Even is he even somebody that can be the physical big that we need? Because I don't see AD as that. And when y'all are talking about him having an MVP candidate and talking about Rondo and his mentality, that's the only thing separating AD from best player of the world conversations is that mentality. So what do you think about the physicality of the Lakers?
It's an excellent question, and it's one I don't know if I have the answer to it yet, because Jackson Hayes is a wild card. I don't know no one really knows what you're going to get from him, because no one ever really knew what they were going to get from him ever, So Christian Wood, as you mentioned earlier, and shout out to Young Afro for bookending this episode. It came out early. He came back to finish the job. Shout out to you, man. But I think with Christian Wood, like we said earlier, he's put up points wherever he's been, and his pers are strong, right? So Christian Wood, you can almost pencil him in that if you give him the minutes, he's going to get you at least 15 points if he's getting his touches, right? With Jackson Hayes, it's all over the place. Like, it is all over the place. Like, literally, I'm a league pass junkie. I watch games that no one else watches. Like, I would watch like a New Orleans versus Utah on like a Tuesday night in November when no one's watching it. And so it's like I've seen games where he's out there just flying around blocking shots, and I'm like, oh man, he's coming into his own. And then the next week he's just nothing. So, and this is a guy who's playing for a contract. So you always, when you see a guy play like that in a contract year, it makes you wonder. But the Laker thing, getting over here, the Lakers have been very active in showing all their players' activities, workouts, and showing, most important, they're showing their body growth and through the weight training. Jackson Hayes looked like he's bulking up. I know the camera adds, to it, but so does the camera that we watched him play on, right? So I'm curious to see what he looks like to start the season, because you could see D'Lo's been kind of redefined. Rui's redefined his body. AD is doing it. Everyone that we pretty much see, it looks like they're getting more physical. The guys who are a little bit slower and bigger have trimmed down, and so like the Rui's. But as far as their physicality, and that's why I kept taking it back to the 2020, I think these guys are going to look to get in people's faces. I think they're going to look to be physical. I think they're going to be fighting for those loose balls. I think they're going to be looking to get back on defense. All the things that they were deficient in last year. And you're right about AD. If AD had that nastiness in him, we see it at times. Like, we do see it at times. It's in there. He just the will to win and the drive is what he really needs. And that's just my take on it. You guys can touch on it as well. But that's just my take on it. If AD, but Africa, I really do believe that AD is coming for everything this year. And I may be naive and I may be overzealous in thinking that, but I've never seen him take, and granted, he's been coming off injuries for most of them, but I've never seen him take the offseason this serious. So that is very encouraging to me.
Yeah, I think, Jeff, there's something brewing with AD at this point. AD might be a title away from having his own statue outside the crypt, and obviously his own legacy.
Wow,
it's not likely. It's not likely, but you start having that conversation, right? Because you're talking about a guy. I mean, when you're looking at his resume, you're talking about he's won at every level. He's won at FIBA, Olympics, college, and in the NBA. 3-time block champion, 4-time All-NBA, 4-time All-Defensive, All-Rookie, MVP of the All-Star game in 17, and 75th anniversary guy. So you're talking, this guy's a first ballot Hall of Famer if he retires today, right?
He is.
So, and then not only that, again, I said he's going to be 31 during the year, but he's still 30. Yeah. So AD has to understand that this ain't it the next couple of years. Like, he's got another 5 years if he does things right.
Yep.
And if we are fortunate enough to get a money player in the summer of 2025, he's still got a chance to win a title or two after that. And the Lakers always get their guys at some point. They do. It's just what they do. As far as Jackson Hayes, I did not hear very good things from New Orleans with Jackson Hayes. And I had a chance to see some footage of Jackson Hayes and obviously of times I'd seen him play when the Lakers were playing him. And there's two things he does well. He's a really good weak side shot blocker, and he's really good at staying in front of perimeter players if he's not too slow. If he reacts in terms of momentum at the right time, he usually can block their shot or at least distract them from getting a clean look at the basket. After that, he's a disaster. So, but he is playing the right position. He is playing the right position on this team because you now have Christian Wood and AD that you're going to be likely be playing behind. So you're going to be able to play against the bench guys in the second quarter, fourth quarters, and likely be effective there. And just another note, guys, there were two players last year that scored 20 points and had 2 blocks on the average throughout the year.
Yep.
One was AD.
The other was Wood.
Guess who the other one was?
Christian Wood.
Yep. So,
and I think you're right on that. And DJ, I'll get you in a second right here for your take on this. I think with Jackson Hayes, I think because you're right, that's kind of exactly what he is. When he guesses right or his initial instinct and he gets that burst on the perimeter, he can cover some perimeter way more than Christian Wood could and Thomas Bryant never could. So I think it could be sometimes. I don't want to use the word dynamic, but I think it could be really interesting when we have Vandal and Hayes on the same side of the floor, with Vandal guarding the wing, and if they bust by, I think that Jackson Hayes can cover more ground than Christian Wood can on those guys when you get by him. So when you got someone like Vandal pressing and then Jackson Hayes and AD back there, I think it's just different levels. If you got a guy that's constantly killing you and penetrating and getting to the rim, someone like Jackson Hayes can be effective in that versus someone like a Christian Wood. So, but it's still a wild card to me because you're absolutely right. DJ, what do you think on this on the topic?
Well, I hear what you're saying with AD and everything. I agree with it, man. His mentality sometimes can be a little suspect. We all want him to have that dog mentality, and he shows glimpses of it, but it's not all there all the time. So I understand all that. The thing is with some of these teams though that you play like Denver and stuff like that, like you got to play more team defense. You can't. I mean, I saw that one play. I remember that one play where Jokic just bullied AD at the end of that game 4 for that last bucket. And plays like that aren't going to happen because Jokic. Let's keep it real. Jokic is freaking like 290 pounds. Like, he's a big boy. You know what I mean? So things like that are going to happen. You know what I mean? But I think for the entirety of the game, like you got to play more team defense when it comes down to certain teams, right? So, but I will say this about Jackson Hayes though, and I did hear this the other day. Oh, I did hear this. My fault. Get back over. I heard about this the other day. He from New Orleans to the Lakers. He was told that he's going to play like big body center, like he was going to be our big center. That's what he was told, right? So
yeah, I heard that too.
So which means and shout out to him. He ended up gaining 10 pounds. Yeah,
he is both.
He's going to be playing that type of center. You know what I mean? So I think in New Orleans, he was around 220 or somewhere around there. And now he's like 230, right? So, hey, shout out to him for getting, for realizing what type of role he's going to play. And so, and just because a lot of these players don't be posting stuff on freaking social media, don't mean they're not working out. Like, come on, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah. Well, the Lakers have been posting for them, right? The Lakers have been showing the team getting jacked up there, right? So it's like I think they're gonna come, they're gonna come drug screen, the Lakers and DJ for PEDs, man. So they're looking at but the Lakers have, I don't know, that seems a little strategic to me. Like, I don't think that's by accident. The Lakers are kind of signaling that they think they're gonna have a tough team. Like, these guys are bulking up, they're getting stronger, they're getting the guys who needed to get leaner are getting leaner, the guys who needed to add muscle are adding muscle. So and the Lakers are highlighting this in so much of their social media posts. So I think they're going out of their way to show the work that these players are putting in. Even Gabe Vincent looks a little stronger. So it was like they focused in on him a lot last week, and it seems like he's been putting in the work a lot. So so now that we all had a chance to respond to that, Africa, what do you think?
Interesting statements. When I was talking about that play against Jokic, it was more about the mentality, the fight on that play.
Yeah.
It was the closeout game, and showed a fight. When Jokic, because AD was playing an amazing defense in the playoffs, right? One of the major reasons why he made it to the conference finals. And AD, and what I say about AD is he's an elite player already in the NBA, a top 10 player to me. And he's still giving you like 27 points, like leading the NBA on rebounds in the playoffs, and like balling out heavy, right? But it's just the inconsistency, and it's more so the potential of him to be such a dominant player. 27 and 12 is amazing for any player, but when we talk about a player like AD with the talent that he has, he could easily be averaging over 30 points per game in the NBA. Now, does he need to have that load in the regular season with the team that we got this season? No, but the consistency and the mentality is what I'm talking about to take upon the leadership that you were saying, Jeff. But I can't let this slide. Joe just slid in that AD is one championship away from a statue. Now let's talk about AD's career. Let's talk about AD's career. One championship.
I heard everybody when he said that. I was like, this no one's gonna.
I can't let that slide. I know we all PC up in here, and it's all love. We all
you don't gotta be PC with me. You go ahead and tell me what you want to say. Don't worry about it.
But look, AD's career in a Laker jersey, right? He comes in his first season, we win the chip, right? And we understand that it was shorter than bubble season and all that, but we win the chip. He plays amazingly, and people are considering him to be the next best player in the NBA. He comes back next season, and we attempt to go back to back. He don't even play 40 games, and he gets hurt in the playoffs. We come back next season. He plays half the season again, and we don't even make the playoffs that time. And then last season, we make the conference finals. He's not consistent in the regular season. He's struggling through injuries. In the first game, I see AD with a back brace on, and that wasn't a good look. Shout out to Lakers in 5. You remember that. And so when we talk about career in a Laker jersey, it's been underwhelming compared to the potential. That first season was amazing, and since then he has not met expectations of a great player. And so all these top 75, shout out to LeBron James and taking him to the finals, something they ain't never seen before. Shout out to the Laker organization for putting the team around him. But when we talk about AD as the best player on the team, he has not lived up to expectations. I have not ever heard, Joe, of a second option on a team on the Lakers organization's history of having a statue out there. Shout out to Pau Gasol. He might have a better prospect of having a statue than Anthony Davis, my friend.
Yeah, probably. You're right. Good return. Good retort. I agree.
Yeah, so let me jump into something because when he said that, we all were like, whoa, I'm like, let him rock here with this. I was like, I absolutely believe that he should have his jersey retired already. I believe that already. I believe that he got us a chip. We don't win without him coming here. Him and Bron saved the Lakers on that alone. I believe his jersey should go up. I just believe that. When it comes to a statue, I will say this. I will split the difference on this here. And I think you're right, Africa. I don't think he's deserving of a statue yet. I will say that. But I will say this. The Lakers are seeming to be building, and DJ, you've been on a panel with me before when we discussed this, so this may sound repetitive to you, so I apologize. But the Lakers are kind of building that Yankee Stadium like mural of legends who have played the game, top 75, at some point top 100, and the amount of them who've not only played for the Lakers but won championships with them. So I think at some point, and I'm not saying it's going to be AD, I just want to be clear about this. I think at some point the Lakers are going to have a damn museum of these guys that have played and won titles for them. And I think we will start, I think the statue thing value of it will drop a little bit because I think they will let some people in there who aren't on the Jerry West, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Magic Johnson level of deserving a statue. But I think at some point there are going to be so many greats that are out there that they're going to continue to add them. But as of right now, before that kind of ruling changes, I don't think he's worthy of a statue right now. But I do think the Lakers are trying to be like, oh, yeah, that great? Oh, yeah, he played for us. Look outside. Oh, that great? Oh, yeah, he played for us. Look outside. I think that's on the horizon at some point. I really do. But to today's standards, I absolutely believe that he is not deserving of a statue. Now, if LeBron leaves and AD is morphed into this the best player on a chip team guy, If that's a big if, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if LeBron leaves and AD is the main guy and they get a chip, well then, that may change the narrative a little bit there, but I don't think he's deserving of it right now. Definitely.
Yeah, I appreciate
I agree, Bloodhound.
Against Boston.
Cedric Savala statue. That's
Cedric
challenge.
Chais, Cedric the Chais. Remember that they gave him
Next to
something on
next
nickname?
to a Bolton Lake Havasu.
Yeah. Well, what you got, Africa?
I was gonna say that the chat is hilarious right now, saying AD's statue gonna have bandages on it, man. That's crazy. But what I gotta say is, like, AD does have potential though to be an all-time great Laker and to have a statue. He would just have to win a couple MVPs, probably 2 more championships, continue his all NBA level performance for another 5 years, have about 7-8 all NBA seasons for the Lakers, and I would say like a couple MVPs, couple championships, essentially a Hall of Fame career from this point on. And yeah, he would be one of the great bigs of the Laker organization. But that's a lot to ask and something that he hasn't shown yet. And so he was technically the best player for the Lakers last season in terms of production and talent at this point of LeBron's career. But when you talk about the first option, I don't think he has been the first certified first number 1 option on the team yet, and has actually printed that. Yeah. And this is the season for him to step up and do that. And so we're gonna see.
Yeah, agreed. It's actually fun. It's the first time that Joe's been on my show. Africa has been on, but it's kind of cool to have you both on here, because it's like one thing about I don't know if you caught Africa in the past, Joe, but one thing about it's really cool. For a young man, he's got a rich history of the game, and it is really cool to talk to one of the younger cats who didn't initially watch some of those eras, but he's so informative about it, and that's refreshing, right? So it is kind of cool because I'm from a different era than him, and we go back and forth on so many different things, and we talk about so many different things. So I like that balance of guys who have seen those guys play of our era mixed with his era, and the amount of knowledge being able to gain from it. It's just an incredible opportunity. So that Joe's a lot like you, young Africa, where the memory of the times and places and these games and these moments. So it's kind of cool. Sometimes I'll sit back and I'm like, damn, I forgot about that. And it's usually guys like you guys bring that up, and it's just so good for people that are watching to have that level of intelligent basketball knowledge all on one screen and one speaker, whatever you may see. So again, shout out to you all, man, because like I said, I'm the rookie on the block here, and to be able to get the heavy hitters up here with me, standing with me is amazing,
Hey, Africa, are you from Mali?
I'm from Ethiopia.
Oh, because the flag looks like a Mali flag. Am I wrong on that?
Oh no, it's Ethiopian flag. It's probably the same colors as Mali. But
okay. Yeah, my best friend's from Mali, so I saw the colors. I was like, hey.
Yeah, same colors though. You're right about the colors though.
Yeah. I've been watching basketball since 1991. It's an encyclopedia memory when it comes to sports. I know every title winner from every year, and football, forget about that. Anybody even in basketball, anybody who's gone toe to toe in terms of information, usually it's going to be really hard to, I guess, outduel the remembrance. The thing with basketball I've been fortunate to be around is I had the chance to watch Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James watch in their prime.
Yeah.
So you can't really go back, because I know some of the young guys right now are talking about, now that LeBron is starting to creep into the Jordan area in terms of greatest of all time, and in some cases, some people say he still is. It's an argument that I can explain between MJ, Kobe, and LeBron.
Oh, please do, my friend. Please do.
Okay, guys. Let me just say this. I've said this for years. Okay,
young Africa's territory right here.
I remember this. I remember this very, very clearly. Okay, Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant have the same ferociousness, exactly the same. Matter of fact, my buddy who's from Mali hung out with MJ. He asked MJ straight up, MJ, LeBron or Kobe? And MJ said, Kobe's like me, man. Kobe's like me. Okay, cool. We got a thumbs up from MJ on that one, right? But in terms of what I saw, Michael Jordan had a gear that no one ever had. You know how some of these sports cars have a 6 gear? Most don't. They have a 5, right? Jordan had a 6. Kobe had a 5.5. LeBron is a different player, right? He's a kind of a combination of Magic and Karl Malone in a lot of ways from a physical standpoint, right? His athleticism is way beyond Karl. And sorry, Karl, great player, but LeBron runs like a gazelle. So when you talk about not just it's not just one thing. It's the ability, it's the accomplishments, and of course the mentality and what you're likely going to identify with too. That does throw in there. I'm used to eating the competition. Like, I want to destroy you. The last 15 years is a little bit more of a community in that mindset. Very few guys want to tear your heart out. A lot of them want to play. What's up? How you doing? Hey, good game. I'll see you, right? I'm never going to really identify with that. I'm 45. I'm the same age Kobe would have been if he was alive. MJ is obviously, 10, 12 years older than we are. So, but all in all, at the end of the day, guys, Michael Jordan did 2 things. Number one, he was just more talented at basketball than everyone. And of course, number 2 or 1A, he accomplished more where it mattered. 6 titles out of 6 finals MVPs. The only way LeBron sits at that table is if he wins 2 more titles. If he wins 2 more titles, he's sitting at that table. Now, then at that point, you can debate whatever you want. That's how I look at it.
I hear you, Joe.
You in young Africa's hood now, bro.
This is what I don't like, because I go back and I got a lot of respect. Hey, when we talk about these great players, let me state this first, is that these are all-time great players. These are all amazing basketball players, some of the greatest athletes of all time, right? And the separation between them is not a lot. And depending, as you said, on the criteria and how you view the game, you're gonna have some preferences over one over the other. But you said something specific about how you emphasize and personally value competition, right? And this narrative is what I don't like about the competition of this era. Because I remember, Joe, that Magic Johnson kissing Isaiah Thomas on the cheek. I remember Michael Jordan and reading about Michael Jordan going on golf trips and going on dinners with players before the game, before a playoff game. I remember, and they described this as a strategy to lower the defensive mechanism and the mentality of these guys. But I remember players being very close and connected in that time. And so I would say personally, the competition that I value more so than the competitive nature of the players is the actual skill level and talent of the players. And I think we can agree that the talent level and competition of this era by far supersedes the 90s era of basketball. And so I would ask you, when you look at Jordan's finals competition, for example, and we talk about LeBron James' competition, even though he doesn't have 6 titles, at the end of the day, could you agree that the competition that LeBron faced in the finals supersedes and clears Jordan's competition in the finals?
So that's a good question. I'll break it down for you, because competition matters, right? Now, it's easy to say that there wasn't as many genetic athletic freaks in the 80s. Like, you didn't have a Dwayne Wade and a LeBron and a Kobe and James Harden, those types kind of floating around. You had what? Clyde Drexler was like the second guy for a while there in the 90s, right? But at the same time, you also have to factor in that at that era, it was a big man's era. You had Patrick Ewing, Alonzo Mourning, and Hakeem Olajuwon. You had those guys, Shaq coming into his own. You had those guys that were still supposedly supposed to be the centerpiece, so to speak, of a championship team, and Jordan debunked that, right? That's one of the reasons why Portland didn't choose him, even at the behest of Bobby Knight. They still didn't listen. Bobby Portland said, we need a center, Bobby. He goes, draft him and play him at center. No one listened. So there's no doubt the competition was, in terms of athleticism, is better now than before. Absolutely. But you have to also factor in that you have to convince me that Michael Jordan wouldn't adapt if he came forward to this era. People who said, well, Jordan shot 29% from three, right? Well, every time I saw Jordan play in the big game, he kept hitting threes. Didn't matter if it was in Utah, if it was in Portland. The guy hit threes when it mattered. Jordan I would have adapted to anything. I have no doubt he would have adapted to anything. Now, I'm gonna break this down, the LeBron thing for you guys, so you know I'm not heartless. Okay, I've had some issues with LeBron, and usually would be around the extracurricular stuff he does outside the court. On the court, I've been pretty happy with him, at least lately. I know for a while there, when he would pass out during last-second shots, it would piss me off. But he's gotten better there, at least in my eyes. This is something very important to make clear. LeBron has been to the finals 10 times. LeBron went to the top finals for the first time in 2007. We all know what that team was. Ilgauskas. I mean, it was probably, in my book, the worst finals team in the history of my finals viewing, by far.
Pretty bad.
They got smoked, right? They got smoked by probably the second best Spurs team ever, arguably. Fast forward, 2011. There's no doubt that the Miami should have won that series. And that's where the problems start for LeBron. How that ended. JJ Barea up 2-1, not being able to close out that series. They win in 2012, they win in 2013, barely, and then they get smoked in 2014. Now, in my book, that era was LeBron's prime, and he had help. I believe LeBron should have four-peated in that run. That's just me. That's what I think should have happened based off the talent and based off the scenario. Fast forward, 2015. Kevin Love out. Kyrie Irving out. The Cavs go up 2-1 with LeBron and Dellavedova. And then, of course, Golden State comes back and wins it in 6. I'll give LeBron a pass there. If he had Kyrie and Love, he probably wins the title in 15. 16, best season he ever had in his entire career. Hall of Fame season. The guy, for those of you who don't know this, LeBron led his team in points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals. That's all 5 categories. And the only thing I ever hear is, "Oh, Kyrie hit that last shot in Game 7." I'm like,
yeah, they say he saved his legacy.
All right, guys, come on. All right, let's get real here. And they forgot about the blocked shot on.
They give Ray Allen and Kyrie the reason.
Yeah. So I'm with you guys. I'm playing ball with you guys. I'm believe me. Kerr hit a game-winning shot. Paxson hit game-winning shot. I wanted to kill John Paxson in '91. I wanted to literally kill him. This is still a team game, right? So LeBron wins in 16, and I remember after that series, I said, "Shit." I go, LeBron is gonna three-peat. This time he's gonna three-peat. There's no one in the East. Boston was fucked. Obviously, Kobe was Lakers were done. I'm like, who the hell is gonna beat these guys? Because now you just popped Tyson in the face and knocked him out, the 2016 Warriors. And I said, now they're scared. Now they're always going to have that fear now. It's never going to go away.
The 73-9 Warriors.
And then 2 weeks later, Kevin fucking Durant goes to Golden State. And I said, oh my God. I go, they just fucked LeBron. Fucked LeBron. So 17, 18, what the fuck was LeBron going to do? Man, he played his ass off in those
18
series.
was ridiculous. 18 was
Right.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Right? And I'm going, no, man, no. It's that was kind of like that was one of those things where the luck part didn't work for LeBron. Kobe had it a little bit too in a couple of those series. But see, and that's the other thing you got to factor in this, guys. Michael Jordan, up until Game 6 of the Utah series in '98, he never had one significant injury to any of these players during those championship runs.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, with all that, talent-wise, no one is better than Michael Jordan, guys. No one, talent-wise. He just happened to have the accomplishments too. There was no one.
How do you describe the talent? What is the talent that you speak?
The talent is Michael Jordan could get to any spot at any time, anywhere, and get separation like I've never seen anybody. Kobe Bryant, he didn't even have that ability. He didn't have that sixth gear, so he just shot over everybody and made it anyways. That was the difference with him, right? LeBron is a physical specimen, but he still has holes in his game, just tiny holes. Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant are the only ones I've ever seen play in my view, and since 1991, where I was old enough, invested enough to watch and understand what I'm watching. So 32 years, where I just didn't see any weaknesses in Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, and Michael Jordan had just a little bit better athleticism than Kobe.
Big ass hands, man. It was just a cheat code.
That's fair, but I would personally say the talent level and the dominance. Jordan is the most dominant player when you talk about winning, and in his era, the separation he had. He didn't really have super teams constructed against him, and that wasn't really a free agent era of movement as it is now. And so I would ask, holistically, when it comes to basketball, though, Joe, isn't LeBron a better all-round player when we talk about the playmaking, the
statistically, yes.
Rebounding?
Yes, statistically, but yeah.
Go ahead.
But you also have to understand, guys. I highly recommend, if you guys can watch some footage of Jordan in 1988 when he won MVP. I was still not invested in the NBA at that time, but I was 10 years old. I did remember some of it. TV wasn't as good as it was now, where you could watch everything. But I also am a historian. I do go back and study some of the stuff that was then. I've seen some ESPN Classic type games as well. Michael Jordan averaged 37 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists in an era where you had no business with those stats at that time. Michael Jordan could have done anything in my book. Could have done anything LeBron did. He just didn't have 6'8", 260 on him, but he could do anything LeBron did. It's just that LeBron can't do what some of the things Michael Jordan did. That's kind of how I observed it.
Yeah, and like my thing with I missed one of my two greatest. Well, my regrets are, and I forgot I've told you this, not being able to see Showtime Lakers is a tremendous, like, I wish to God I could have seen that live. Obviously, we've got history forever, but missing that era, man, that's just feels that I just barely missed it. The end of it, you know what I mean? So it was like, but I right up there with it is that I missed the Jordan assassin years, which is that range, because Kobe, I saw Kobe's assassin years were next level. Talking the years where you're just, no one can stop you, no one can do anything with you, but you just didn't have the team to win.
Africa, let me tell you this too, man. People were scared of Jordan.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna get. That's what I was gonna say. The fear that Jordan, like, I just remember when Jordan came to town, or when the Lakers would play Chicago, like, oh man, this motherfucker's gonna I remember thinking, like, oh my, just don't let him get 50. Don't let him get 50. And motherfucker get 50. And I'm just like, don't talk to him, don't look at him, don't do anything to set him. I used to get mad at dudes who wouldn't dab him up at half court. Oh, we just lost because of that. Because he would find shit like that to kill you for. And it was like, so, and I know this is kind of, you guys going back, you guys are both making great points. And this is what I love about the two different eras. But it's like the LeBron and Jordan debate is so funny to me, because they're nowhere near the same type of player. So like for me, it's like the Kobe Jordan debate was always more exciting for me because you know what I mean, because they were more similar players. Kobe took what Jordan did and kind of sharpened it a little bit, but that gear was different for MJ. That's an actual fact. That is absolutely true. I've seen that man get to a spot and think that he is, and Kobe has done this too, but I just from the hang time to the size of the hands, the palming the ball whenever he wanted to, that can just get the whole team off their feet just by putting the ball in the air. And it was different. I remember when I saw Kobe for the first time and I was like, this looks familiar. I just remember thinking this looks familiar and this dude's going to be ridiculous. But the LeBron thing is like, it's just so something that we never saw before. And I don't think we'll ever see again. And that on that level, that's just as special as Jordan to me because Kobe as well. There are guys that you will never see again, ever. And we were lucky that we had Kobe to Jordan. We had Kobe. I don't think we're ever going to see like the guy compared to LeBron. I just don't think we're going to see it. And it's because of what you guys all touched on. You got to be the physical specimen. You've got to be able to play the game because there's guys who are built like him but cannot play like him. Too big, too fast, too strong, too smart. Like you can have the guy that has 3 of those 4 and it won't be Bron. You can have the physical specimen, athletic and skilled, but stupid. And he's not going to be the same player. So it's like, I think Bron, I don't think there'll ever be anyone close. And I'm not calling Bron the GOAT, by the way. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is the type of player that Bron is, I don't think we'll ever see again. And because his just physical dominance. And like Jordan, I agree. I think Jordan, there are guys you can plug in that can play in any era. Absolutely. Jordan can play without a shadow of a doubt in any era. LeBron James can play in any era too. I think Kobe Bryant can play in any era as well. Certain guys can't. There are certain guys.
The thing is, though, also Jeff, you gotta be realistic about this too, okay? Because this is a part where I'm gonna be on LeBron's side on this, which always cracks me up. Where LeBron would have struggled in the '80s.
Crazy.
I said, okay, hold on a second. Let me get this straight. I go, if LeBron was born in the '60s, he would have grown up a little different, right? He would have grown up maybe a little bit more of that era. Let's say, right? More tough, because that's what that era was, right? We slowly in society gotten softer because we've solved so many of the things that we needed in the past, right? Shelter, food, water, blah, 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 blah. Imagine putting LeBron in the 80s with that skill set, right? And he grew up with a little bit more, let's say, a stricter upbringing. Something that made you a little bit tougher, right? Where he might have more of a pit bull type mentality versus kind of like, I would say, more of a laboratory, right? And that's not a dig on LeBron.
He's more all business.
The thing with LeBron is he's a nice guy. Like in the deep part of who he is, he's a nice guy. He is what's that bull? Forgot his name. The nice bull. There's a story about it. Shit, I forgot the freaking name. Anyways, it'll come to me. And the gentle bull, where they want, because they made a movie about it. What's his name was the fucking voice on it? I forgot what it was. Anyways, he's a nice guy, and when you're nice, sometimes people take it the wrong way, right? But I think at the end of the day, the talent and the accomplishment is what, in my opinion, separates everybody. People talking about, well, what about Kareem and what about Wilt? I go, it's really difficult to call a center it's kind of like calling a pitcher the best player of all time. They're too one-dimensional. Kareem doesn't dribble the ball. He's got to have the ball given to him, right? So I'm going to stick to the guys that can actually control the ball and play, full court. Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player I've ever seen skill-wise, and he's accomplished in terms of what matters more than anybody. So at the end of the day, I can sit on that and say that's just what it is.
That's fair. And I would say what I was alluding to about the eras is not about Jordan's adaptability. No doubt he would adapt to this era and probably score even more in this era. But I would say that when it comes to competition, well, the two guards that he was facing, when you're talking about guys like John Starks, Reggie Miller, Clyde Drexler, Joe Dumars, who was a great defender. There wasn't really great wing defenders in that era. When you talk about the best defenders to guard Jordan in his career, guys like Joe Dumars, 6'3" guard, guys like Gary Payton, like 6'2" guard. Like LeBron James went up against some of the best perimeter defenders of all time. When you talk about guys like Tony Allen, you talk about guys like Kawhi Leonard, two-way players like Paul George, Jimmy Butler. Then you go into even big switching out to him like a Giannis, like a Tim Duncan, just roaming and helping on help side defense. You talk about the competition and the level. And what I was trying to allude to is that what Jordan had, and I think that clearly is LeBron's era over Jordan. And I would say this too. When we talk about the fear of Jordan, I hear a lot about this fear of Jordan. No doubt, I'm gonna take y'all word for it and say that he was feared at the time. But when you talk about the very action of Kevin Durant to join the Warriors, the very team that he lost to, and that he was meant to be the literal competitor against in the Western Conference, and they're meant to battle it out for years to come, being on a contender. And he goes to the Warriors because of the threat of LeBron James just running the table on the NBA. I think that is fear. When you talk about early in his career, when the Boston Celtics big three joined together, specifically to stop LeBron's dominance in the Eastern Conference, and they meet LeBron in multiple occasions in the Eastern Conference, in Cleveland, in Miami. When that occurs, well, now we're talking about the fear of LeBron James as a player more than the mentality of the player. I can understand because of his playmaking ability, because of his just how he learned the game. If you know LeBron's story of growing up with brothers and not really having a household and understanding the game was his sanctuary, and he really saw it as a brotherhood as opposed to a competition in a certain extent. I think that LeBron has had provoked significant fear in the NBA throughout his career, and that's shown by the actions of other teams, bro.
Man, Africa, I gotta say, man, I'm ready to. Jeff, we gotta tease the next because I gotta put some things together from the '90s so I can explain it. we gotta return to this because this is good. This is the best rebuttal I've had in this argument in a long time.
He is the king of rebuttals. This is
good. This is like bowling with pros. You ever bowled with someone who bowls 50? Okay, it sucks, right? You bowl like 120. You bowl with guys that are hitting 150. All of a sudden, you're bowling 180, 190. I feel like I'm bowling with 190 now. Now you got the juices flowing. Now I gotta get I gotta go get my book down. I gotta go look, right? Because I do have a retort on the competition in the 90s, and I think that's I've called that a little bit of a cop out in a lot of ways because they keep pointing at guys like Jeff Hornacek, Mark Price, and those types.
Dan Marley. Dan
Marley, right? But at the same time, if you look at how teams played at that era, and of course the bigs were the staples. It wasn't a guard. The NBA was never really a guard-heavy game. Magic changed that, right? Magic was a 6'9" guard. What? Jerry West didn't even know what the hell that meant.
Yeah.
He changed the NBA. When people talk about what Magic and Bird did, it was you had perimeter, you had big guys a step ahead of everyone, not a half a step, a full step, knowing exactly what's happening, and they were able to distribute, they were able to get to the hole, they were able to shoot, they were able to guide and win, right? And then, but it was still somewhat of a big man's game. You still had Robert Parrish with those Celtics teams. You had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with the Laker teams. Even the Detroit teams had Bill Laimbeer, right? Even though he wasn't a star. And then you fast forward to the 90s. You had Patrick Ewing, Alonzo Mourning, Shaquille O'Neal, Hakeem Olajuwon. Hell, if Ralph Simpson didn't have injuries, he'd be still around at that time. Yep. And you had those guys that were battling with those guys all the time. Rick Smith wasn't as big as, wasn't as good as, let's say, Patrick and Lonzo, those guys. But those guys. Now, I will, because I want to continue this. But I'm going to throw this in your favor because I said this on our show, Lakers Fast Break, about a month ago. I said, because we're trying to feel the equivalent of what would have changed in the 90s had what happened to LeBron happen to Jordan. Okay, here's my response to that. Let's say after the Bulls won in '96, they won their fourth title. They went 72-10 and beat the Seattle Supersonics in 6, right? let's say the equivalent of Durant going to Golden State is Reggie Miller leaving Indiana for Utah.
Yeah, that was
right.
Yep.
If
People
that
forget about that. People forget about that
because that was one guy that very few people have. Because Jordan's protected too, guys. Jordan is like Obama. Okay, people protect. Now Jordan never really did anything bad. I mean, the whole gambling thing and all that. I mean, I never considered that bad. Obama, of course. Obama, if he walks outside the sidewalk, oh my God, he's working for the Russians, right? You know how that's the same thing. They're protected, right? They're protected because how stupid people's shit is on those guys, right? A tan suit, everyone went nuts. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Tan suit. Anyways, so with that though, very few people say that Jordan hated guarding Reggie Miller because he never fucking stopped moving.
Yeah, he hated it.
Right? He never stopped moving. So put Reggie Miller on that Utah team. Jordan probably has one less title at the very least.
This is true. There's also two other guys that gave Jordan fits, and he hated almost as much as Reggie Miller. Do you know who those two guys are, Joe?
I know here. I heard Richmond. Mitch Richmond was one guy.
There we go. Mitch Richmond The Rock always gave him. And the other, Reggie, rest in peace, Reggie Lewis, man. Reggie Lewis and Jordan would battle, but before Reggie died. And
could you imagine if Len Bias hadn't died?
Yeah. My God, that's a whole
died. See, and this is again, Africa, what you just did. This is why it's important to talk to people with talent. When I'm talking about my show, when I'm on my show, I can come off like a real fucking asshole, right? And I know that. And I'll come off like an elitist. I'll come off as someone who's insensitive. Look, man, fuck all that. I want talent, okay? I want talent in an argument too. I don't want to just be that guy that's right. I don't want to be right. I want you to prove to me that you know your shit. So what happens is now you got this whole thing opened up. You got it all opened up. Now I'm like, I got someone here who knows what the fuck they're talking about. Now I can actually delve into this and start getting into that part of my brain where I'm like, how am I going to explain this one? And if it's something legit, I'm like, shit, that is good shit to know. Now I can use that.
Oh, I appreciate that. And you said your channel's Lakers Fast Break. I'm going to
Lakers Fast Break, yes.
Yeah, subscribe to them. They
subscribe to that. And I'm gonna say this though, and we could leave it at this, and because I could do this for hours to come, but I would say this. I would say this is that it's interesting, right? Because it is 90s were the greatest big man era of all time, right? And that's clear, and it makes this era look weak in comparison. But I would say this about that era is that how great were the bigs of the time? If a 6'6" guard comes into the NBA and cooks the 90s, he was cooking in the 80s as well, but cooks the 90s when he is not a big, evidently, and didn't have a dominant big on his team. He was riding with Luke Longley and Bill Cartwright and the offensively limited Dennis Rodman, and he's running tables on the NBA. That's one question I would have. And then another one is, was Jordan essentially the first guard or perimeter player to expose the flawed nature of the NBA at the time? When we talk about the stereotypical run the game through the big and the low post, and with the illegal defense era in which allows you to play one-on-one on the perimeter, play one-on-one in the post. You can't really have zone coverages, which essentially eliminates guys like Embiid dominating the post today, even though he could do more of that. I would say he was the player, right? I mean, in my personal opinion, he was the player to explore the flawed limits of the strategies of coaches and the NBA as a whole. Because if you have a guard that can do it all, attack from the perimeter, create off the dribble, and with the assistance of illegal defense, which makes that easier because hard doubles, outside of hard doubles, you can't load up on Jordan. And so that would have been something he had to adjust. And I'm sure he would have got an elite 3-point game, essentially, to counter that. Was he the first guy to essentially expose that limitation of the NBA at the time and show that running it through the big and having a slower paced offense isn't always the best thing to do, and the limitations of a big when you're hitting twos and when it comes down to clutch situations and you can load up and hard double in the post, which is much more easier than hard doubling out on the perimeter. I would say that Jordan was essentially the prototype of exposing the limitations of a inside out offense and making it outside in to a certain level.
Great. Yeah, that's a great question. I think what started that was actually Magic and Bird. Magic, especially with Showtime, you had Jack McKinley who brought that fast-paced type thing, and then obviously you guys, if you are up to date on the current Winning Time show, and also if you've studied what happened during that time, a faster pace created more of what eventually became what we're watching now. It just kind of had a little bit of a slowdown in the 90s because you had stubborn coaches and just freakish talent at that center position. I forgot to mention David Robinson as well. What the triangle did with Michael Jordan was it basically said, Michael, you're the greatest individual player that's probably ever played in this game. And this is at that time. If we were just able to create this offense where everyone is a threat on top of the fact that you're good at what you do, you saw what happened. So as far as exploiting it, yes, you're 100% correct that mentality, that I guess the precursor of what we see now was what you're talking about in the 90s, and Jordan exposed it. The triangle offense by Tex Winter exposed it. They had the right player, and they had the right trigger man too in Scottie Pippen, someone who is the Doberman that could control the ball and play stout defense, right? So yeah, absolutely. More possessions now, right? Why is when someone asks me, well, what's going on now? That this damn game is this and this damn game is that, and I get caught up in that too because of the constant stupid flagrant fouls. The flagrant fouls are the shit that really fucking bothers me. And I like, dude, if you have to go have a meeting if this thing was a fucking flagrant foul, then why the fuck are you having a meeting? It's got to be obvious, right? So, more possessions means more stats, more opportunities. Those things have to play a factor in this. So if you're asking me how Jordan would be, let's say, in this era, you're telling me you're going to give Jordan another 15 possessions? A guy who played 36 holes of golf before playing Puerto Rico and fucking annihilating the point guard for Puerto Rico and that day because he said something in the fucking papers and we don't even know if he said it. He probably just made it up, right? Charles Barkley, Chuck Daly. Chuck Daly's like, hey, man, don't you want to guard that guy? He's like, fuck that. I'm going to guard the point guard all game. And Chuck's saying, and Chuck was the best player that everybody said it, right? He was the best player performance-wise during that run, during the 92 Olympics. And he's like, man, what the he's like looking at Carl. He's like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Like, just fucking rabid playing this Puerto Rican guy had no business playing against, like he's playing in a game 7. So it's we can sit here and we could talk about schemes, competition, bigs, smalls, who can shoot, who can't shoot, 3-point line up, 3-point line, 3-point down, this way, whatever. At the end of the day, greatness can play in any time. It just doesn't matter. I think that's just what it is.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
And that guy, I saw him. And when I say fear, forget about the locker rooms. Forget about press conferences and all that. I literally watched someone piss Jordan off during a game, and he scores like 10 straight points right after that. Like fucking maniac. Like everything got fucked up. Like you could see the coaches go, what the fuck are you pissing this guy off for? What the fuck does? Like he did that all the time. And he wasn't even an antagonist. He really didn't talk any smack either. He didn't talk smack unless you fucked with him. Kind of like Kobe in the 81-point game when Jalen Rose was talking. They interviewed Jalen Rose like, hey, did Kobe say anything to you? He goes, he didn't say a fucking word the whole game.
You know, it's funny because there were coaches that would tell because Jordan, the guys would start saying something, so Jordan would attack him. So then the coaches would tell the guys, don't look at him, don't talk to him. So then he took that as a slight that they were ignoring him. So you couldn't talk to him and you couldn't look away from him. You couldn't ignore him. You didn't know how to approach him, right?
George Karl ignored him
at lunch or in the restaurant, right?
Right? And
Yeah.
you saw that on the
The Last Dance,
documentary.
yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. He on my list. I'm like, what the fuck? You don't have to do anything, man. That guy's just motivated, man. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, Jordan, the stuff that Jordan and I like that's why for me the debate is fun to me, but I love them all, man. It's like I like the LeBron Jordan one, the Kobe Jordan one, all these. Like at the end of the day, I'm just glad we had them all. To be honest with you, you know what I mean. So like when I sit back and look at these great talents, I never wanted to be so because of all the Jordan fans that bashed and hated Kobe, I never wanted to be the Kobe fan that bashed LeBron, just because we only get this type of greatness so often. You know what I mean? And the fact that, like you said, that we got to watch, I did get to watch all three of them. So I didn't catch Jordan's assassin years. I didn't catch 84 through like 90, essentially, right? But I caught him in 91. So it was like, so I got 7, and then when he came back, even though the Washington years that they are, I still got to watch Jordan play ball, right? So I got to see all of them. And that's a blessing in itself. So to sit back and when I nitpick this guy or this guy, it's a fun debate, and I love the debate. But like I said, I'm just glad we had them all, and they're just so different to me. Like Jordan and LeBron they're just different ball players. And my thing would be, we always talk about what if these two could have played together. Could you imagine if Jordan and LeBron could have played together?
Oh,
like that's what I'm saying. So when people talk about, well, what if Kobe did? What if Shaq had? What did it? That's always my thing. Well, what if Jordan had LeBron or LeBron had Jordan? Like, are you kidding me? like it would be.
Yeah, that's a souped up Scottie Pippen next to Jordan. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
You saw what happened with Shaq and Kobe. They three-peated, right? I mean, three-peated.
Yeah.
I don't think. It's funny when you look at when you hear that three-peat, right? Michael Jordan made that possible, right? So then Jordan and Kobe three-peated, and that made it possible. And then you realize, wait a minute, teams don't three-peat.
Oh, shout out to Bill Russell. Bill Russell as well. Shout out to Bill Russell.
I guess I should say in the modern era, Bill Russell three-peated 1, 2, 3, 5 times. And that's the point. The point is the all-time, like, I don't even know if all-time great is the right word. The freaking gods of the game three-peated, right? I know Magic was a god too, and Larry Bird, but that was the most competitive decade in any era of the NBA. Not even now, not even the 2000s, the 80s. And I'm going to break that down. That's one of the breakdowns that I can really set the tone on as well.
When I look at the three-peat is an amazing accomplishment. Three-peat, I put 8 straight finals right at the level of a three-peat, man. And that's me personally, because the level of talent and the level of endurance, stamina, and greatness for 8 straight finals, I think, is at the level of a three-peat to me personally. Now the accomplishments going 500 in those 8 straight finals is something that you can question, but I think the 8 straight is amazing. And I would say that I like these conversations more so, and more so than trying to pitch your claim as to who you think is the greatest, more so just analyzing the greatness of the individual players in the era, what made them great. I think I'm much more curious at this point in time about what made Jordan so great. What was the context of his greatness? Because context, I think, is something that is missed in a lot of basketball discourse out here in YouTube, Jeff. And so more than I've never met a person that I've changed their mind on LeBron and Jordan. There's never been a guy that switched up live and said, you know what, you got a point onto that. And I think LeBron's the GOAT. Now, I've never heard that, but at the end of the day, it's more about appreciating their greatness. And I don't really want to minimize Jordan, but some people might call it hate. Some people might call it minimizing. Jeff, I just call it context, Jeff. That's all. Just context. Let's put some context on the greatness. That's all.
Exactly. Well, that's what I love. That's what I was telling Joe. Like, I love the fact when you have, because like I said, me and Africa come from 2 different, we're basically from 2 different worlds, literally. You know what I mean? So it's like we come from 2 different basketball worlds. And the fact that the conversations that me and him have, obviously mutual respect goes a long way. When you're debating with someone you like versus someone you can't stand, obviously it's a different type of thing, right? But
that's
it's
entertaining. That's more entertaining though.
No, it's entertaining. It's entertaining, but at the same time, like I don't know, I don't know many people of young Africa's age that I can learn something from basketball wise from. It's extremely rare because there's not many people I can learn basketball like from overall, right? But I learn from Africa still. So it's like for him to be, a man just like that's going to continue to get better and smarter and smarter and smarter, and end up being one of the greatest, could potentially end up being one of the great basketball minds of just talking this game. Like it's really cool to be able to talk to someone from that different era, and then bring someone else in that's closer to my era, and listen to you two kind of like tell your stories. And it's like and the chat and the viewers really win, because when you're talking about like the quality of the game, and you got quality minds talking about it, and they're not just throwing out just random stats to back up their argument that doesn't translate, or Africa said it perfect, context, right? You can look up any stat and watch any YouTube clip, and that does not make you a great person to analyze the game. It just doesn't. So when you have conversations, I could have this conversation outside in front of my house with the power out. I don't need the internet. You know what I mean? I don't need to look up stats. I don't need to do any of that. I don't. And I could talk for days and weeks about this shit without the internet. And like I said, I love talking to guys who can do that. So at the end of the day, like that's what it's about.
Context is something I've been reiterating on the show on Lakers Fast Break a lot, because I think we really do a bad job in understanding context in the real world. People are so quick to feel like a retort or a rebuttal or an argument is directed towards them personally, because they're already thinking those thoughts. Their inferiority complex gets in the way. Sports is a little different because very few people are as knowledged, typically, at least around me. Even people that have been around me that watch football and love basketball, they haven't looked at the game and the eras or whatever, any league like I do. There's an encyclopedia there that keeps building, and that's just how my brain works. I'm a sports guy. I love sports, and I love watching sports. I love competition. It's the only thing on this planet that's left where talent rules. You can't fake LeBron James. You can't fake Kobe Bryant. You can't, right? All these guys dogging Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, Aaron Rodgers, you can go ahead and dog him all you want. It's 4-time MVP. By the way, he just won his 4th MVP. So what the fuck are you going to say? Like, really, what are you going to say? Oh, well, he keeps losing in the playoffs. Well, if his defense could fucking play, maybe he would win more, right? I mean, he wasn't this is football, Aaron Rodgers doesn't play defense, Colin Kaepernick running for 200 yards. It ain't against Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Tom Brady lost 2 Super Bowls watching the game from the sidelines after he had just given his team a lead, right? Yeah. So again,
to my New York Football Giants.
Context, right? Context. Get it right. And if your feelings are going to be hurt by the truth, then you're not going to have a good time here. Because at some point, if you catch me on the wrong day, I don't have bad moods. That's to me, that's kind of a sissy thing. I don't get in bad moods. But there are some days I get up and I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to fuck some shit up. Like that's how my brain works. And if you say the wrong thing to me, I'll be like, man, you better have your fucking shit together. Otherwise,
I'm gonna send you some clips of some of Africa's debates, man. Because I'm telling you,
you're right.
He's phenomenal, man.
If you're right, you will never hear me get upset. If you're right, and if your opinion is backed up by legitimate info, we're going to be all day talking and educating. That's just what it is. Because at that point, if you're not doing it like that, you have no credibility. If you're going to get pissed off, I can't believe you're fucking picking LeBron. Now, my argument to 8 straight finals, right? We talk about competition. You guys heard me before about the Eastern Conference. The Eastern Conference has sucked ass since 1999, guys. Okay? I mean, and it was really bad. It was really, really bad.
That's a fact.
05 and
Jordan took the conference with him when he retired, bro. Like,
right? I remember the AFC from 1984 to 1998 until Denver won that Super Bowl in Denver, in my at that time my hometown, San Diego. Man, every fucking Super Bowl is a blowout, except the Giants, Bills, and a little bit of the Steelers Dallas one. And then, of course, the Niners won in 88 against Cincinnati. That was like 3. So you had freaking 13 Super Bowls. 4 of them were competitive. You had 9 blowouts. So you would basically put on the Super Bowl. Imagine 9 years. Every time you put on the TV, They're in Super Bowl. Fucking game's over by halftime. So competition, Africa. Again, I'm gonna try to keep things for the future shows here, but I got some good info on the ascension of the player competition coming into the 90s and LeBron's 8 final appearances. Me, at the end of the day, I don't care about finals appearances. That's me. I care about wins. Final appearances make me feel worse. I only think about 04 and 08.
Yeah,
I don't think about 0, 1, 2, 9, 10, and 20. I don't think about those as much as I think about 04 and 08. Those 2 finals still fucking bother me. They still gnaw at me. Because you want to talk about greatest of all time? Imagine if Kobe wins those 2 finals. How different that would have made things,
He's in
right?
that discussion more commonly.
So accomplishments matter, right? And I know it's not fair. I know it's not even sometimes because of injuries and this, but that's a big part of it, guys. That's what plays into everything, right? Luck, skill, talent, and how things kind of come out. But yeah,
that's fair. I personally have an opposing opinion, and we could do this all day, but I feel like when we grade individual players, I think winning is not my first criteria. It's actually lower than other things like individual game, your production, your impact, your playoff translation, your ability to play both sides of the ball. I think I factor these as your skill level. I factor these as higher levels of importance than winning itself, because of the so many things in a team game that allow you to win or lose depending on any given series, the matchups, and so the coaching. There's so many factors, injuries, like you said. So winning is if you get there, I think that's an accomplishment for me, but I can understand the opposing viewpoint as well.
But it's a hell of a lot easier to live that way. The way you're doing it, you live better.
This is true.
You're like a college football fan.
Yeah.
Or a college basketball fan, right? College fans. Why were the Lions? Michigan has won 1 national title in 100 years, right? Less than that. I'm just exaggerating, right? They've won one since '97. That's it. But you go to Ann Arbor, it don't matter if they're winning championships, they're going to championships, Rose Bowls, losing Rose, doesn't matter. That son of a gun is 103 deep. I think it's more now. 103. Right? Lions suck ass for 60 years. You have the freaking stadiums there, right? Yeah. So I'm the Lions fan. I'm a pro guy. I'm win at all costs. All of it. I can't. 04 was such an amazing play. Amazing play. I was in Vegas. I'll tell you that story real quick. I'm at the Tarver Roy Jones Jr. fight, the second one, right? Because it was the first one was controversial. They said
that's true.
First,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm in the arena and I'm like, fuck the fucking fight. I'm going back and forth inside there. They have the undercards and all that. And I'm like, okay, the fight's coming on. It's halftime. Like it became halftime. I watched the first half. Then halftime came and Roy Jones and Tarver are coming out. I'm like, okay, I might miss the third quarter, maybe a little bit of the fourth. Long story short, Tarver hits Roy with a left.
Yeah, KO.
The greatest feeling I've ever had at a sporting event. I've been to them all. This and then Matt. And all 18,000 people in that arena got up at the same time and said the same word. Oh! And Roy Jones was out. Now, to put it into context, Roy Jones was unstoppable for 12 years.
He was.
He lost one fight, which was a bullshit fight, kind of like Bones Jones, where he was disqualified or some bullshit. He had never lost, really. He never lost. And Tarver fucking belted him. I'm talking, you heard the fucking punch on his face and the mat. And I'm sitting there in shock, like, what the fuck did I just feel? Okay, let's get the fuck out of here. I got to go see what happened with the Spurs game. Lakers obviously won game 6, went on to play Minnesota, beat them in 6, and then they lost to Detroit. But that's my point. My point is 04, greatest fucking moment.
That was a great,
right? But I don't ever really feel good about it because we fucking lost.
Yeah, that was the 0.4 shot. Kobe was on one that year, dropping 50 coming back from Colorado. Like, he was doing stuff. That's when Kobe was really just entering his. But it was the Malone Peyton year. We thought about it. The 0.4 just felt just still to this day.
I got the cops called on me, but after that, by the way, they thought I was beating the shit out of my girl. I swear I'm not lying. I got a knock like 30 minutes later. Sir, we heard there was a disturbance.
Yeah, there was. Fucking Detroit won.
What are you talking about? To the game.
No, that one still hurts, man. That one hurts. 2008 really hurts, but all of those are killed. I gotta tell you guys, I didn't even realize that we're on this almost. I've never done a stream this long in my life. This is crazy. Like, it doesn't feel like it's 3.5 hours. So shout out to the chat and everyone that's been here from the get-go. I see a lot of people here that have been here from the beginning. Jesus, shout out to y'all, man. I've never once been on watch the entire stream for 3.5 hours. I'm too ADD. But God bless y'all, man. Shout out to y'all. And
thank you for
the Lakers
me,
fast
Steph.
break.
I really appreciate it.
Oh, no doubt. The Lakers fast break chat came in full force at the beginning of this show. They were everywhere. Shout out to y'all. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Gerald. Thank you, Magic Man. Thank you, Lakers fast break. And I love to see at the end that some of the people have been in my chat for a while, bonding with the people from Lakers fast break. I'm seeing people saying they're subscribing to it. Africa subscribed to it. And that's what this is all, like I said, about. I wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for, I'm not even gonna lie. I haven't heard from DJ. I don't know if DJ's still on here. I see him on here, but there's so many guys that helped put me on, and becoming kind of a regular at Lakers fast break was a pleasure as well. Okay, cool. I was like, I saw you pop in, but I know you're having phone issues there. But for everyone like you guys, so you'll catch me. You'll be seeing me a lot on Lakers fast break. Obviously, I pull up the DJs shows whenever I can. If I'm not on the show, just like with Lakers fast break, I'm heavy in the chat. Tonight was great. Sorry
if I hijacked a lot of you guys.
No. That's what this platform is for. You and Africa caught a good conversation, and I don't. That's what it's about. When I have a show where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let people on. That's what it is. I'm not the guy. It's like, it's my show. Let me talk. No, like I said, I remember where I come from. You guys, you let me go talk on your show. It's only right that I repaid the favor, right? It's not what we're about here. There's a good conversation going on, and even if it's not me, it's you go. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. In the end, the chat and the viewers win because it's good content. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. I'm not with the bullshit. I'm with the content. That's it. I want to make people laugh, talk about food sometimes, talk about sports. That's all what it is. It's not about me. It's about the community. Plain and simple. So at the end of the day, like I said, it's a blessing to me, like I said, as a new kid on the block, to have great talent on my show for this long in a day. In one episode is crazy. So it's having said that, I do have to get up in like 6 hours. So I'm definitely gonna we're gonna wind this down here. So but again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys, seriously. All the support, the chat, seeing everybody, like, and like I said, Africa, you go back, you know what it is, right? So it's like it's great to just watch. It's two guys that I like watching their passion from afar, watching rock, and to get you guys on the same show is kind of dope today. And it happened organically, which is the shit I always love. You know what I mean? When it's organic, it's real. You know what I mean? So, but for obviously, if you guys, the Lakers fast break crew, if you have not seen, just look up Young Africa's debates. This guy is a beast. He's a killer. He's an animal. He's young Pac. He hits him up. It's what he does. You wake up in the morning, you say, "Good morning, Africa." Well, Jeff, what is so good about this morning, Jeff? Like, he's ready to debate that. You know, he's not triggered in any way. This man just knows how to debate, and he's gonna go find out what's so not good about the morning and let you know about it. So it's like he's very skilled, very good. When I'm on with him, I feel like I get better. And for those who like what I do, like I said, it's all the tribute to the people that I surround myself with. And Joe.
Jeff, I gotta say, I learned a lot from you, Jeff. And you're an amazing basketball mind. You're a very humble guy too, which is one of your, greatest assets, I would say, personally, from listening to what you say. And I'm gonna leave this with you, Joe. LeBron in the last playoff run, he comes down the court, against Denver, and he gets help defense by Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon guarding him, last second shot, can't get it off, and we lose the game, right? And then we can go and just look back once upon a time to Michael Jordan against the Utah Jazz, rips Karl Malone, comes down full court, no hard double, pulls up on Byron Russell, straight cash, holding the follow through, sealing the legacy. I'm just, where's the hard double? Where's the zone defense? No illegal defense. Illegal defense. No zone. No hard double. You let him go all the way up the court, and you let him crash that, cross Byron Russell up, and hold the follow through, sealing the legacy. This is the difference in the eras, Joe. We need that.
No, Joe, in case you haven't figured this real quick, that's how Africa says goodnight. Those are his
Okay,
goodbyes.
I'll let you have the final word on that one. We'll continue again.
That's how Africa always got one to let off the clip, and then he's out. He's like, no, but seriously, guys, thank you so much. Thank you to like I said, I saw the Lakers fast break crowd here earlier. I saw people from DJ's channel in here. DJ, salute, man. Like I said, I can't ever give DJ props enough. He's been major in my YouTube development. I learn from his show all the time. You want to see how a show like the Lakers fast break? DJ runs a great show, and like I said, shout out to DJ.
I'm subscribed to the Lakers fast break already too.
Yeah. No, I've seen you in the chat there. So it's like, it's just I always try to make it a point, man, to give thanks when I'm doing these shows because it's important. You know what I mean? I think there's enough hate out there on YouTube. Like, you know what I mean? I like when I link up with people who don't have that. Yeah. Yep. So it's like it's really good to be around just good dudes. You know what I mean? And good women like Laker girl. You know what I mean? So on that note, it's been a long one. So I appreciate y'all for pulling up tonight. I'm gonna try to go live Friday again. I just tried to squeeze this one in because I got some stuff going on. And I had some time tonight, so I wanted to get that off. You know, it was a day late with Christian Wood, but we still had a great show. And other than that, if anything you guys want to get out before you head out here, feel free.
Good night, folks. Good discussions, and I'm ready to. I got to get my stuff prepared for the next discussion.
for the Africa Chronicles, because he's ready.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
I'm glad you guys met though, because you guys are both very passionate. And so it's dope.
Love, man. Great stream, Jeff. Great stream.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, young African. I'll catch you. Definitely want to see you on the next one. And I mean, you got to do. We'll talk another time. We got some stuff we got to plan out.
No doubt.
No doubt, for sure. And DJ, again, as usual, man. Salute to you, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me on, bro.
No doubt. All right, everyone else, thank you again for tuning in. This has been a great show. Like I said, I did not. It's a great thing. I didn't know it was going to go this long. It doesn't even feel like it went that long. 3.5 hours. I could talk a lot, but man, I never thought I'd do a show this long. But that was dope. It was great. I enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun. Learned a lot of things. There was a lot of knowledge. The chat, as always, was heavily knowledgeable and contributing. So as I always say, y'all could be with anyone in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. So as usual, you can find me on Twitter/X at EmpireJeff_ right here on Empire Jeff TV. Thank you guys so much. Make sure to like. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It's Jeff again, and please send them my way. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Y'all have a good one.